What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with the other host of this show, SSC Podcast, the homie Project Storm. Storm, how are you doing today, man?
Yo, I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. You know, I don't want to be overly enthusiastic, but I could tell you right now, I'm so happy, man, as a gamer. You know how when I get happy, right? That means a lot of things are going on. That means cloud gaming is hot, PC gaming is hot. Everything is just turning up right now. You know, we're getting closer to the summer, man. We already anticipated that the summer is going to be hot, especially for Stadia. I mean, yo, I'm just ready to jump into today's show, man. There's a whole lot to talk about. I can't wait to get into it, man. That's how I'm doing right now. How about you?
Absolutely. Same here, man. I mean, y'all got to excuse the bags in the back. My son just dropped off my liquid hydration. It's been a rough week, man. So hearing all the Stadia news and all this great stuff that's coming to Stadia, hot summer, that's tagged by my boy Project Stormy. Tried to tell y'all, man. Y'all didn't want to listen. You know, it's a great thing to help with the rough week that your boy's having. So I can't wait to see what more is coming down the pike. But definitely, we got to deal with the stuff that's right here in front of us, Storm, because there's a lot of it, man. Golly, jeez Louise. But shout out to all of you in the chat. Thank you, Nippers Cloud Gaming, Charles Oran, Michael Sweeney, that is in the house. Thank you all for coming by and supporting us. Mikhail? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Mikhail Sweeney. Shout out to you, my good friend. Let's go. Let's play these bills real quick. Let's get into this because there is a lot of stuff to go over. Today, we want to talk about the big AT&T deal. We want to talk about the Google TV, Android TV, and a whole slew of other devices and TV support. And then we want to do what we like to call community watch, something that we often do, but we're going to put a tag on it and kind of explain it and get into the details, the nooks and crannies of it. But to get things underway, you know what I'm saying? This is SSC Podcast. This show airs every Wednesday, either at 1, 2, or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's all my fault, y'all. And it airs here on the Stadia Dosage platform. It's the show that's hosted by Project Storm and myself, where we talk all things Stadia. So you definitely want to stay in tune to that. Shout out to Loud Gaming Dad, who has become a member. Shout out to you. Or Cloud Gaming Dad. Why did it say Loud Gaming?
Man. Come on, man. You all right today, man? I mean,
that's what it said on the screen. I was going by what it said on the screen. And the screen. Well, hold on, but we gotta fix that, brother.
Yeah, we definitely I'm looking at him in the chat. Him and Joseph in the chat, and then Ryan Hudson has been around. Hey, he's been away for a minute, but Ryan, man, you always have a spot right here, bro. You know the deal, so don't worry about it. We got you on the updates and the news, especially everything that just dropped this week. Man.
Absolutely. But shout out to Cloud Gaming Dad, my dad. I was like, hold on, Loud Gaming Dad.
One and only.
I said, they ripping my bro off, and then I looked in the chat, and it said Cloud Gaming Dad. I said, oh, okay, now I get it. But shout out to Cloud Gaming Dad. Thank you for becoming a member. But yeah, we air this show every Wednesday here. PNTS Network does on the Stadia Dosage platform, hosted by me and Project Storm. You definitely don't want to miss not only this episode, but future subsequent episodes. And check out the older episodes, too. We had a hell of a show last week, Storm. You know what I'm saying? So I hope the people don't bypass that one. That was a great one.
I don't think they will, man. We've had a lot of fun shows, a lot of fiery ones. You know what I'm saying? We went on social media, you'll see the fire emojis. You know that we're planning to bring that heat. Hopefully it's gonna be a nice conversation that everybody can be engaged in, man. And that's what we like, MM2K. That's what I like. That's what makes it fun, man. You know, the good thing about this community is everybody gets to give their take in their own ways on their own platforms or whatever, MM.
Yep.
That's the beautiful part about it, because if there's something that we might have left out, we get to go check it out with everybody else, Cloud Gaming Dad, etc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stadia
Yeah.
Revolution. I see you down in the chat, and
Say
everybody
the
else out here
rev.
that makes your own unique content, man. So I just wanted to throw that in there because it's gonna be a community focused portion of the podcast today, y'all. And we just want to have your eyes and ears tuned to the conversation.
Absolutely. No, that's 1,000% right, Storm. We don't mind, and we're going to get into this when we get to the community watch section. Like, we think it's a great thing when me and Storm cover something and it's topic of conversation elsewhere, whether you agree with us or not. That's a great thing. Some of
Right.
the sillier stuff, you know what I'm saying. We need to we're not going to get into, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
I mean, even some of that is fun in moderation, depending on you know what I'm saying, the
well, I mean,
outcome
no,
and
no, no.
how,
If somebody wants
how
to,
great,
yeah,
yeah,
if
how
they want to
far out
debate,
track it goes or whatever. Yeah.
exactly. If they want to debate, but no, definitely that is not a problem. They want to debate. Oh, I don't understand this, whatever. That's fine. But
Yep.
no, the personal attacks and the attack on the brand, because the brand represents what you guys and gals have been doing in the community. That's why I'm not for that. You know what I'm saying? We're nothing without y'all. So whenever someone attacks the brand and makes it seem like that we don't like diversity of thought, we don't engage different things, or we're doing this or we're doing that, that's a representation of everybody that supports this platform, and that's not fair to you guys. You guys like Cloud Gaming Dad, who just became a member. That's saying that you guys are supporting something nefarious, and that's something that we're like, no, that's not good. But when people want to
Right.
debate or support whatever notion we come up with, we think that's great because that fosters discussion. You know what I mean? And we're going to get into a lot of that later on in the show. We're going to talk about all that. With that being said, so that's what we do in SSC on, tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be here. I think everybody's off of vacation. Everybody got their schedules together. That is the commission. That is a show that's the big PNTS network powwow where we all get together and we talk everything gaming. Consoles, cloud, mobile, Switch, whatever you want to consider that, PC, you name it. We talk about it on the Commission Podcast. That airs on the MM2K Videos channel every Thursday. Well, I won't say every Thursday, but it airs there on Thursdays. The frequency, we're still trying to figure out because it's the summertime. People got lives, as Project Storm said last week. But it airs on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely be subscribed to MM2K Videos channel for more details on that. Then on Saturday, we have another gangbuster show for you. That is SML Podcast, Storm and Most Live. That is a show also hosted by my brother and myself. We air that either on Stadia Dosage or Project Storm's channel. So definitely be subscribed to both of those platforms to get a wind of that, so you don't miss any greatness there. That is the interactive show where there is a huge focus on Stadia and cloud gaming, but we do talk all things gaming. And it's interactive because we allow you to call in, leave viewer mail, all that fantastic stuff. So definitely mark your calendars. SML Podcast, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday morning.
It's going to be on my channel this Saturday, y'all.
Absolutely.
And I like the fact that we can pass the baton and rotate. We can share different thoughts or whatever. Like if I have some topics that I'm willing to share, ready to share with the people, and I get a chance to do that, man. PNTS Network, man. Let me tell y'all something. It's the reason I ride for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to. I don't have to, y'all. It's the reason I ride for the network. You know what I mean? The people that we have that's behind the scenes and putting that work in for the network and for all of you.
Yep.
That's why I do what I do, because MM2K knows we've had this conversation, man. I really don't have to do this. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than here, though. I could tell you that much. You could cast a check on that one. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than here, man. That's why I ride for the network. But let's go. You all
Absolutely.
can do the same thing because, hey, we've already said that the platform Stadia Doses News is always open to those who are passionate about the things that we're passionate in, mainly Stadia, MM2K. We've been talking a lot about it. I just have to remind the people because, I think if they hear it coming from me, it might be more, now I don't want to say believable, man, but I don't know. Like people have to understand how much work that goes into this all the time. All the time. Just like just setting everything up, y'all. I just got to get a brother kudos, man. He's behind the scenes. MM2K is behind the scenes doing a whole lot, man. Living a normal life, busy life. he don't want to say all this stuff, but it's putting a lot of work in, people. So y'all can show, show that support and gratitude like you've been doing already, people. And the sky's the limit, man. We have a whole lot more planned for you all. The summer is about to kick off, and let's get into this show today. Do
Yeah,
we
I
have
definitely.
anything else? I'm sorry, I
No, no,
always
no,
interrupt, man.
no, no, no. We good. We're good. No, that's some great stuff, man. And definitely, I'm glad you did that because, yeah, I'm behind the scenes doing stuff, man. But I definitely don't want to slight the people that are behind the scenes doing that. We can't say anything yet. Why can't we say
No,
anything?
no,
Because
no,
you
no,
told me
no.
not to. You told me to shut my
Can't
damn
do it.
mouth,
Can't do it.
and
The
I'm gonna
summer's
shut
not
my
here yet.
mouth. It's not here yet.
Summer's
Hot
not here
summer,
yet. Not
baby.
officially.
Woo!
Not officially.
Hey, but when you guys see what the future, I've shown some people. Stadia Rev has had Jack have seen it. Of course, you know about it because you've been very
Yep.
instrumental and key into making sure this stuff comes out. So big kudos to Project Storm as well. But the people that are gonna make this happen. Wait till we release this stuff, man. I can't wait. And to Storm's credit, what he just said, the Stadia Dosage platform is for everybody. Now, what we've originally did is we reached out to individuals 1v1 and asked, hey, look, this opportunity is open if you want to do X, Y, and Z. And with it being early in the year, people's schedules are slotted or they're not sure about what they want to do. But if you're a new content creator, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you want to increase the spotlight or you want to do some things, give us a call, man. Just hit us up. This platform, we said in 2021, this platform is going to become for everybody. And even though I may not be able to plaster it all over the wall 24/7, or Storm may not be able to, we're
Right.
just a phone call away. Just give us a call, and we can do what we need to do to help
And
your
yeah,
platform
and it's
as well.
important because Stadia is growing, man. And I predicted
Yes.
this, and I can't wait to get into it. As you can see, man, I'm in the gate right now, like a greyhound, ready to go out there and chase this rabbit, man. I don't know if you ever been at a greyhound track before, racing or whatever, man. But that's what they do. You know what I mean? They get them in the starting box or whatever, and they hit that rabbit, boom,
Yeah.
and they chase it,
Pow.
man, and they're out. And that's how I feel right now. So I'm ready to kick it off. But now I know we didn't get into the rest of the shows that we like YMYOG
No,
and
no,
all
no,
that.
no,
So I
no. Yeah,
apologize
yeah.
for
We
cutting you
we
off.
we still stuck on SML podcast, but
Man, I
it's
can't. Hey, electric air. It's another one of those
exactly.
electric air days. I'm telling y'all.
But definitely, yeah. Check out SML Podcast every Saturday, 11 a.m. Then we have our Sunday extravaganzas. It's kicked off with this Revolutionary Storm podcast. Fantastic show. These brothers, each show progressively, they just knock it out the park farther and farther. I was able to catch, because normally on Sundays it's hard for me to catch anything live. I was able to catch half of the show live. I loved it. I enjoyed it and caught the rest up on VOD. But still, great show. Is fastly growing. One of our rapidly growing shows. You definitely want to check that out. That show airs either on Project Storm's channel or Stadia Rev's channel, Stadia Revolutionary channel. Um,
Revolution, man. Let's get it. Now
Stadia
you know Rev is
Revolution
listening.
channel.
He's on the clock, but he's listening, man.
Let me ask you, whose channel is it showing on this
It's going
week?
to be on my channel this week. We were just on
Okay,
Rev's channel, and
so
then
you on
the
double
week
duty, brother.
after. So next weekend, Rev had his son has graduated high school, y'all. So give it up for
Give
Rev.
me
You
a
know what I'm
break.
saying?
Shout out.
He's gonna be. So we're not gonna have a show next Sunday because of that. But the following Sunday we'll be back.
Yep. Shout out to Sneaky Ray and Vet in the chat, Levi. Shout out
Ray,
to all you guys in the
Vet,
chat, man. Thank you for showing love.
Levi.
Um, well, so okay, my brother's going to be on double duty this week. So whenever he's on double duty, it's definitely going to be fire. So check him out. Check out his channel Saturday and Sunday. And in the description is the link to his channel. So definitely go
Yo, I
check it out.
talked to Snow Bunny Gaming and she's saying that she said Storm, we might have liftoff, man.
Uh
We might
oh.
have liftoff for this summer.
Uh
I mean for
oh.
this Sunday. So get ready
Woo!
for the YMYOG. That's Ying Me Zhang of Gaming Podcast and
Golly,
myself,
brother.
Snow Bunny Gaming and Rome Rush. Yo, there's a lot to talk about out here in these streets, y'all. Y'all know us. We're gamers now. We have our hands and feet in a lot of different areas, a lot of different platforms and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it all on these different shows. So you want to subscribe to everybody's channel so you don't miss any of the conversation because they kind of directly relate to each other, given that it's all gaming, you know what I mean? But I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a busy weekend for my brother Storm. Shout out to him. Hopefully he has his Gatorade handy. All right, and then so after Revolutionary Storm, then there is YMYOG, as just formally mentioned. That is a show where different thought processes of the gaming community get together. That's the show with Project Storm, Snow Bunny Gaming, Rome Rush. They all get together. They talk everything gaming is there as well. It's a great, comical, insightful, everything you can think of. It's a
Oh man, it's so
fantastic
much fun.
show at
And
every
we
single
and we
level.
and we used to allow guests and everything. We got to get back to the guest thing. Stadia Revolution's been on the show, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely been a guest. Rome Rush was a guest before he became a permanent panel member. But now with football season and everything, American football, NFL football, y'all, when that coming up, it's gonna change some things because Rome Rush is a diehard football fan. I am too. I just
Yep.
don't want to watch every game, y'all. So I kind of like go back to YouTube now. I can't take watching the full game and see us lose. My Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys fan right here, y'all. So it gets tough, man. I don't want to give them all my time if they're not going to get that dub and get back to the Super Bowl. So just wanted to throw that in.
Yep. So definitely check them out this Sunday. Now, the first Sunday of every month, which we had our June episode last week, is this week, I might as well say this week, is the number show for Stadia. That is a show that is hosted by Jack Deslip and myself. It airs here on the Stadia Dosage platform. That show airs the first Sunday of every month at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We had a hell of a show. Gave away two
Oh man,
Stadia premieres. Fantastic show. Really our top rated show here on this platform. So thank you so
yes
much
it
to
is.
Jack Deslip and the aforementioned Yang Meets Yang of Gaming Podcast. That show airs at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Snow Bunny Gaming's channel. So jot all that down so you don't miss a single minute of all that good stuff. All right, Storm. I'm almost done, but I do definitely want to put out some honorable mentions. First and foremost, I want to talk about this. Let's see if the web portion is going to work today.
Got you. You know
Nope,
how we do it.
it ain't working. Of course, it
Oh
wouldn't work.
man, I was gonna give you extra time by checking out this chat, but I'm gonna do that anyway. Let's get to this chat, man. MM2K can't tell me when and when not to show the chat some love. So from the bottom to the top, man, Porter John is in the house, man. We already said Cloud Gaming Dad, but I'll say it again. Cloud Gaming Dad is in the house. Beck Cloud Gaming is in the house, y'all. Check them out. We got a lot of content creators out here, you all. And if I recognize you, I'm definitely gonna call it out. That's a fact. And we got Nimbus Cloud Gaming out here, Alex Billy. We got Marcus G. Knight, who's definitely happy to be a part of the Stadia thing, man. And so are we. We are glad to have you, Marcus. Saw you yesterday in Meg's chat, man. See, that's the beautiful thing about it, y'all. We bounce everywhere, show love to everybody. You get what I'm saying? That's what makes a real, true community. We got Christopher Torres, always working hard, man. Torres, I'm sure you was out there in the 100-degree weather yesterday, getting it in. You know what I mean? And we appreciate you, man, for doing what you do out here, helping people and all that stuff, man, and tuning in to us while you're working. But I won't tell your boss, though, I promise.
He
Ray
said, "I promise."
Sherrod is in the house again. That's the bro, always been the same. Ray Sherrod, y'all, never change. Listen, I want y'all to tell me a time. Go back when Ray first entered the scene, right? Now, I want y'all to think about this for a minute, right? Ray might tear up a little bit, man. Go back to the beginning when Ray first came into the scene as a green buck, you know what I'm saying? New dude, whatever, FNG, which is the effing new guy, whatever you want to say. He came in, happy to be here, supportive of others, would give you the shirt off his back, introduce you to his whole household, wife, kids, everything. That's Ray Sherrod, y'all. So when this brother right here comes in here, man, it's all the same, y'all. We don't forget about y'all. Ray's still the same. That's my point. Still the same dude that he was then. Always promoting our shows, always retweeting all the new content creator shows, at least from what I see. Everybody that he can realistically as the cyborg to promote and show love to. That's Ray Sherrod, man. I gotta highlight that, MM2K. I gotta highlight that. That's a stand-up G right there. Stand-up G. We got
Absolutely.
G Mil. Speaking of G's, you got to put a capital G in front of this. G Million. That's G Millie. I call him G Millie. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? G Millie's like, what up, my homies? G Millie's going to come in here from time to time, y'all. You never know what you might see. G Millie can say what he wants because he's put the time in. A lot of love and respect, man. We also got, who else? Eli. We called out Eli. I'm gonna do it again. Eli Levy. If I'm not saying it wrong, man, because Levy is what I think it is. Dylan Tortosa's in the house. Unitrix is in the building. Ron Slusher, Collins Dynasty, man. Charles Aaron, who I call our informer. He's always finding something that might be beneficial to share with you guys and just hitting us up behind the scenes. Charles does what we ask him to do, man. What we ask all of you to do. If you see something that catches your eye, you don't have a voice, drop it in the DM. Let us know. Like, look, here's something interesting, man. Did you all get a chance to check this out? 9 out of 10 times we probably didn't with our busy schedule. So again, we got the Nightbot in the house, man. Ryan Hudson again, Stadia Rev, and Mikkel, and then everybody else that we've already called out, man. We're about to kick this thing off. I can't wait.
All righty. So what I want to show you guys on the screen right now is the Summer Community Championship. So as a reminder, for those of you that are not aware, shout out to Jack Deslip, the aforementioned Jack Deslip. He is hosting and sponsoring a grand tournament. The top prize is $1,000. $500 for the second prize, and third prize is $200. This tournament compromises of so many different gaming activities and functions and stuff through the course of a week. So definitely go to the Summer CC. Go to @the_Summer_CC on Twitter, and follow them there to make sure that you are up to date on the activities associated to this great summer championship. Also, I want to make everybody aware that Jack Deslip is also sponsoring something special for this channel as well. That is for all of the support that you guys and gals have given us on the Number Show. We, along with in celebration of the Google TV platform getting Stadia support officially and support coming to all other devices and things like that, we are hosting a giveaway. Sponsored by Jack Deslip. We're going to give 2 lucky members of the Stadia Dosage News platform. 2 lucky members are going to get Google TV units and a Stadia controller of their choice. All right. Again, 2 lucky members are going to get a Google TV unit and a Stadia controller of their choice. Those winners are going to be selected on the date that this support goes live. So definitely you're going to want to sign up, be a member if you want to participate in that. That's going to be fantastic. Both of those things sponsored by Jack Deslip. So shout out to him, and become a member sooner rather than later, because we might do something like throw extra tickets or something like that. We don't know. It's still early, but what we definitely do know is, again, 2 Google TV units will be given to 2 lucky members of this platform on the end of this at the end of this month, not July 20th. Let's say July 23rd. I meant June 23rd. All right, y'all. With all that said, now let's get into it. We're gonna have to. We kind of cut long with all that, with all the news about the championships and everything. So we're gonna have to skip what we've been playing last week. But I definitely still want to get into some of this tech talk, because we were talking before we went live, and I think you got some interesting tech stuff that you're gonna be getting into that might be interesting for the listeners.
Man, I tell you this, if you haven't seen a lot of Stadia videos you all dropping right now, it's because I've been doing a lot of research into Stadia, the AV1 codec, Google TV, all kinds of different things, right? 8K, I'm doing my little 8K thing and all that stuff, so been looking at like this 8K display, and I have, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on one, man, so it should be coming next week or whatever, and I really want to try to see what it brings to me as a gamer right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've already dabbled into this 8K thing, but I just want to have a real deal 8K display. You know what I'm saying? So that I can get native resolutions and stuff like that. And just so I'll keep you all posted with that. Like I said, it's no real secret that I had already mentioned it before, but man, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that thing. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do it, y'all. I had to do it. Now, if it's not for me, that's what return policies are for. The beautiful thing about it. So if it's not for me, if it doesn't, and I'm going to let you all know in case you've been having your eyes on 8K for the real serious gamers out there that care about that stuff, I'll give you the heads up. But MM2K, that's what I've been trying to do a lot of, but it's back to this content right now. In fact, I just released a video, a 4K Cyberpunk video PC, RTX 3080, badass settings, which is the highest setting above ultra settings for that game. Yeah, so I know we didn't talk about what we've been playing, but I was definitely on that Borderlands 3, man.
Oh
Borderlands
yeah,
3.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Yeah. In the same vein, I was talking to my son, and shout out to Ron Slusher with the $5 sticker. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it, good brother. Thank you. I was talking to my son, and he's like, "Dad, I want to get a new PC or something to enhance my gaming experience. I don't want a console. Consoles are too they're too limited." I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "Well, I got you, brother." I said, "If you want to go beyond your Chromebook just for basic streaming, if you want some super fidelity, get you a gaming laptop or preferably a PC so you can swap the parts out." Well, how are PCs gonna enhance? You know what I'm saying? A Storm, you sound like some of them crinkle cut mugs out there. How would a PC enhance? You know what I'm saying? Cloud gaming, man. You know what I'm saying? They can't make it sharper and all this other stuff. So I did what I've urged you guys to do. I said, if y'all don't want to believe my brother Project Storm when he put his desktop settings and stuff out there, just go to Stadia Dosage Streams. Go look at my Cyberpunk 2077 video prior, and then go look at my Cyberpunk 2077 video after Project Storm hooked me up with the same desktop settings. The difference is night and day. So
Yo,
go
I
ahead,
want
brother.
them to check out that Borderlands video I just dropped. When y'all get a
Yup, and
chance, so
check
pull
that
it up
out
in a
too.
different window or whatever. When you check that out, I just dropped it, so let me know how it turned out. But listen, the videos that I drop now look like direct recordings, MM2K. Now I wouldn't know what that looks
Mm,
like as the content creator, and y'all. So anybody that cares, again, this is for the people that care about that stuff. We try
exactly.
not to spend too much time on it because
Uh
we
huh.
realize that we have people that could care less about the tech side of things, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
hard not to talk about the tech for the people that do care because some of us got into Stadia in the first place based on the tech or the focal point of the tech going into the future and all that, right? So
Yep.
that's why a lot of us, some of us jumped on it. And it seems like more people than we think because, man, when the game is not running at 30 FPS, boy, it's more than me and MM2K that gets on it. I'd say that
Mm-hmm.
much. So, yeah, I just
Absolutely.
want to throw that in there. But,
Yeah.
man, all
Check.
that stuff that we're talking about is tried and true, man. It's the hardware that's helping out with the cloud and the resolution that you're getting, the performance, the feel of the game, man. It's crazy out here, y'all.
You know. So definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? Check out the videos. Check that out. I mean, I'm somebody. If you guys think my brother's capping, which he's not, it's only video games. Ain't nobody lying about no damn video games. But go to my channel where I applied his secret sauce, and now the game quality is just phenomenal. I will say this though, a lot of it is because my brother has the hardware to be able to do all this stuff. This is why you don't see the equivalent so much on various different platforms. My brother got certain particulars that everybody don't have, including myself. So one of the things, Storm, that we talked about that we like to do is we like to on the desktop settings throw on that hardware acceleration.
Yeah, that's big. That's
Yeah,
major.
it's
It's
major.
major.
But what I noticed for myself is that I had to scale it. I had to turn that off because
Yeah,
I ain't
some
got
people
to.
will. I was gonna say some people it might not
Mm-hmm.
work for everybody. They tell you that.
Yep.
It tells you that in the notes.
Yep. Because it doesn't work for me, but it works for my brother because my brother he got the whole kit and caboodle. So just some things that we
I'm
like to
still trying
share.
to figure it out. Let's just be for real.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure
Well,
out
I'm talking
why
about
I'm
hardware
getting what I'm getting, the
wise.
performance. I know I'm talking about with all of this stuff, man. It's like it
Yeah.
shouldn't even be possible. It shouldn't be possible, but it is,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, my brother got the whole kit and caboodle. So definitely check out his videos. He gives you the method, the methodology to a lot of the madness, and try it. That's all you can do. You're not going to kill anything. You're not going to hurt anybody. Just give it a shot. All right. With that said, y'all ready to talk some Stadia games, some current news? You know
I
what I'm
think they
saying?
are.
Cause Stadia's dead, right? So let's go to the land of the dead
Yeah.
and talk about what's going on with
The
Stadia,
dead.
right?
Let's go to the Dead Sea.
They go,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Let's just go
Oh
out there one
man,
more time, MM2K, and see if there's any signs of life, you know?
exactly. Uh, so Storm, this week on Stadia dropped today,
Right.
and even though it didn't talk about any new games that we haven't heard of yet, like coming to the platform, there is a lot of Big Bang news in this episode of this week on Stadia. It talks
Hmm.
about something that really surprised a lot of us Monday and really put things into a proper perspective as far as the investments being made into Stadia, not only by themselves, but partners. You know what I'm saying? Remember all the way back in the SG&E announcement, they said we're going to be working with our partners to extend this platform. So let's kind of go over those, and I want to get your thoughts on all this good stuff. So you know how we do. Let me show you something. Now that we fixed that, okay. So this week on Stadia, half a year of Stadia Pro with AT&T. Let's focus on that first. So they say, want to play games free for 6 months right now? When you pick up a qualifying AT&T fiber plan or get a 5G smartphone on an eligible AT&T unlimited wireless plan, you'll get 6 free months of Stadia Pro. That's a ton of games for you to play on your compatible phone and across your laptop, desktop, and compatible tablet. You can also play on your TV with a Stadia controller and Chromecast Ultra for a limited time. AT&T customers who redeem this offer can purchase both as a discounted bundle for only $19.99. It closes off this portion by saying with AT&T 5G you can play instantly almost anywhere you have coverage, and with AT&T Fiber you can access a faster internet experience at home. And they tell you where to take a look at those deals. Storm. This
Yeah.
announcement originally came Monday, but I got to ask you, brother, how big is this announcement? What are your thoughts on
When it's so big that when I saw the announcement, man, all I did was sit back and I just grabbed my keyboard, man. I grabbed my
it?
keyboard, MM2K. I saw everybody's reaction, all the people that was enthusiastic about it, some who were not sure about it, some who wanted to know if it was coming to other territories and all this other stuff. I mean, like, and as well as Google TV and all that, right?
Gotcha.
But
Yep.
I just grabbed my keyboard, man, because I told you when things like this happen, it doesn't blow me away. It does
Mm-hmm.
not surprise me. I'm not one of the ones that. Now, I'll tell you what surprised the hell out of me: PUBG
Okay.
coming to Stadia. PUBG.
Okay.
That's the only thing I think really got me because I knew Cyberpunk was coming day and date and all that. I kind of had the feeling in my gut, so I put that out there. And certain things I just put out there, right? Like I felt that it was going to be a big week for Stadia. I said, I don't know what it is, Stadia Revolution. As we were live, you could go check that out live on the Revolutionary Storm. I said, MM, I said,
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but I could just feel, man. I could just feel like I have this intuition, I think, man. I could feel when something big is about to happen at times. So I said, yo, something big is about to happen this week. Now, this was Sunday. The very next
Yes.
day, this news drops. I'm like, yo. So I grabbed my keyboard and I said, there's nothing else to be said here on the Stadia, on Stadia official tweet on Twitter when they dropped
Yep.
this news. I said, there's nothing else to be said here. And I put the dragon up. The dragon lights everything on fire, burns everything up, in his vicinity. At the competition and everything else, man. That's when them dragons come out, y'all. You got to be ready. You got to be ready to duck.
Yep.
So that's all I needed to say. I really didn't get in too deep into the conversation about it. It's one major move out of many major moves that's about to happen, y'all, that we're about to continue to see because why, MM? As Clive Illenden, your spiritual advisor, and yourself and me and Rev and everybody, some people in this chat, if not everybody, man, people have been saying that the SG&E closure, because I still see some of that out there, but we'll get into it later. But man, the SG&E closure, y'all, was supposed to be the death blow, man. You
Yes.
hear what I'm saying? MM, it was supposed to be the final nail in the coffin for
Mm-hmm.
Stadia. But Stadia was supposed to see. Here's the problem I have with these people, the haters that they are, right?
Yep.
The problem I have with them is they had already said that Stadia was supposed to be dead before that happened. So I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
So SG&E closed, Stadia is supposed to be dead. So now I guess the AT&T deal is gonna kill Stadia as well. Hey, I don't know. All I'm saying is this doesn't surprise me. And I know the bigger moves are going to happen because again, this is Google. This is that Google that we're talking about that can flex their muscles when they want to, just like Microsoft and others. They can do that if they want to. They're Google people.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just need people to understand this. So these moves should not blow your minds. You should be happy about them if you're a Stadia gamer. Yes, be excited because this speaks longevity. It says we are serious about this. This says that, yo, if Sunny Cloud Gaming and MM2K and Project Storm and others out there are speaking, y'all might want to listen to them. That's what it's saying to me. So I'm just like, damn, what's next? Next.
Yep.
And sure enough, something came next, same week,
Yep.
but we'll get into that maybe. I don't even know what the
Yeah.
notes are for the day because I'm so excited, man. I'm like, are you
Facts.
serious right now, MM? Like
Mm-hmm.
AT&T, how many users? Let me ask the chat this, y'all. Can
Yep.
somebody research, man, how many, or just say what you think if y'all don't mind, or you don't have to say a damn thing, just enjoy the show and have fun. How many consumers or how many customers does AT&T have?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying all of them are going to have access to, I mean, going to have Stadia.
Yep.
But they all, but a lot of them just got access to Stadia if they decide to jump into gaming, especially gaming that doesn't require for you to take a lot of your time, like consoles and PC and all this stuff that you have to download your games and then you have to set things up and do driver updates and all this stuff. Wait a minute. So now, because you've been hearing people say this MM2K every day, Stadia is so convenient. The ease of use, no downloads, installs has been a lifesaver. I wasn't even a gamer, but Stadia brought me back to it. Brought me back to
Absolutely.
gaming, man. I was just minding my business with a family, and all of a sudden, here comes Stadia. Thank you, Google Stadia, for sending us this premiere edition that people laughed at. Some haters laughed at that, right? Said that
Mm-hmm.
oh, they're giving it away for free, including our
Yeah.
very own Amanor.
Yep.
The one and only
Mm-hmm. I
Amanor.
remember that. Remember that?
You know what I'm saying? So people are out here saying all this stuff, and a drop like this happens, and some people are dead silent. They don't say anything. Some people flip flop. They flip
Mm.
flop like, oh
Mm.
damn, this is a big one. Oh damn, Stadia got AT&T. Oh, they connected with AT&T right about now, right before the
Mm-hmm.
summer. After
Yeah.
Project Storm and MM2K kept saying it's about to be a big Stadia summer, they do this.
Yep.
Oh man, I might have to pump the brakes and
Yeah.
see what had happened was I never
Do a
said that I
U-turn.
was
Yeah.
leaving Stadia. I never said that I was leaving Stadia for good. I just said that they need to improve on these things, and if they don't, I'm out. I'm
Uh,
like, yo, so MM, remember when I said, yo, be
yeah.
careful, y'all. When the
Mm-hmm.
moves start happening, when the games start coming, and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and you all have already said, yo, I'm done with Stadia. Google, you've had a chance. I'm out.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to remember, people have already seen this now.
Exactly.
So now when you want to come back and everything, it's just gonna look funny. That's all. I just wanted to say
Yeah.
all that, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think what a lot of people may have misunderstood, Storm, is they took our precautions to that as us hating on their opinions. And no, it was just a precautionary tale. You just have we both have the lineage in gaming. You have the foresight and the Stormstradamus ability to be able to
I do
see.
that research.
Yeah, and the research. Exactly. Due diligence is so key. Like, I know a lot of people just say, "Well, look, I'm just talking my emotions. I'm just telling you how I feel about this." But I don't look at what we do here as a form of therapy. I look at it as a form of information. Like, there's people that watch us because they don't just say, "Oh, these are guys or gals that entertain us that sound tantalizing behind a mic." They're expecting that we do the due diligence, and that is what fuels the things that we say. So
Right.
when it doesn't come out that way, we might lead people astray. So that's why we were giving out a precaution in response to a lot of the stuff to say, look, normally if you keep traveling down paths that are wrong, it's going to affect your credibility. I've seen it happen. Like, shout out to I ain't got no problems with these guys, but because they came from the same school that I did. But shout out to Crap Gamer. Y'all, a lot of y'all know who he is. Crap Gamer started out with BGST, which was created by my mentor and my homie, Next Gen 720. He came from that same school. He was big on Xbox, was capping for Xbox on everything Xbox did, and then at the drop of a dime, the same stuff that he was capping for on Monday, by Tuesday, he didn't like it. It was horrible. Then Wednesday, he tried to come back a little bit, but then by Thursday, so now it's to where a lot of people just crap on his, no pun intended, they crap on his credibility. And that has ramifications. It affects your ability to make outreach, to communicate with people, and for them to take you seriously. So we went through something like this last year. Remember, Storm? We went through something like this last year. We gave out the precautionary tale, and Stadia had the crazy fourth quarter, right? Crazy fourth quarter.
Right.
We told people, we said, look, that Cyberpunk 2077, for as far as Stadia and cloud gaming is concerned, not at the PlayStation or Xbox level, but at the cloud gaming level, which is only a 2% business. At the cloud gaming level, what Cyberpunk 2077 was able to do for Stadia was a big deal. People doubted that. People read their own tea leaves and went into a certain direction and said Stadia is winding down. When you go off your emotions and you don't check your emotions with facts, you run into a situation like what we see today. Now we're seeing all accounts showing that Stadia is not winding down. They're not slowing down. They're picking up the pace, and now they're getting more people to jump on board. It's not just AT&T, Storm. It's EA. The CEO of EA, he came out there and checked the interview like, hold on now. And I've played Stadia. It's actually pretty good. In other words, saying, did you play Stadia? You know what I'm saying? AT&T, LG TV, so on and so on. So now, people are going to question that. It's not MM2K and Project Storm that is putting this and planting this in people's minds. We got to stop talking to the community like they're dumb. Like the only smart people are the people that buy Yeti mics. That's not the case. A lot of people that are listening on the other end of this, they're smart too. They just don't want a podcast. So they develop their own thought process behind this. And when they listen to all this, but they see what happens in reality, they say, hold on. The audio don't match the visuals. So I just wanted to back up everything that my brother Project Storm said. I mean, everything appears to be winding up. And we've come to that conclusion because not only did we follow some gut feelings, but we double checked those gut feelings with facts. With facts. Very important. You can't supersede facts with your gut feeling. You can't expect cloud gaming to get the saturation and love of dedicated device gaming when none of the facts support that. All of the analysts, the people, the CEOs behind this, none of them believe that. And none of them have echoed those sentiments. So it's important. It's great to entertain and stuff like that. But I think for the audience that are looking for facts, I don't think you can be upset with them when they question, where did that come from? Why are you saying that? And then they start having doubts. So just some food for thought out there. I know a lot of people look at us and say, oh, you guys are just trying to separate and cause disruption. No, the people are smarter than what we give them credit for, and they're smarter than us. We're just echoing their sentiments. But you cannot, but in order to avoid those pitfalls, you got to pivot from facts. So, but Storm, I got another question for you in this regards, right?
Go ahead.
Like,
fire away.
So, Stadia stealth releases stuff, right? But they know when it's coming out. They just don't tell us when.
Right.
I found it very interesting that while this announcement was being made, they stealth released a new mobile performance tier that is specially made for mobile gaming. What do you think about that in the combination of those two, this AT&T announcement and this mobile tier? How big of that is it to you?
Well, again, sorry, people. Not that big. It's big for Stadia. No, it's big for all the consumers that's going to take advantage of it. But it wasn't a surprise. Again, is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't a surprise because Stadia Revolution and myself, we had a conversation about it. We highlighted the fact that there was going to be some type of performance mode that I think they had already announced they were going to. Some way, somehow, we got wind of an optimization or something that was going to be happening. So, of course, you know me, I'm thinking, okay. We've been talking a lot about AV1 codecs, and I'm not saying AV1 codec is responsible for this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying that they have technology at their disposal, MM2K and chat, that they could use to make Stadia better. Now, how did we know this was going to happen, MM2K? Now, hold on, I tell you. Because Stadia said so. Hold on, man. You see, y'all think I'm trying to be a jackass, but I'm not, man. I mean, Imagine getting up here every day. You on the panel with MM2K, the brother that's been combating the BS for years and years now. You know what I'm saying? Just been chomping it, just pulling the biggest sword out or biggest knife out of the drawer and cutting the BS, right? This is who you on the panel with. This is who I share this panel with, y'all. I can't come up here acting like I don't know the facts when the facts has been put out there. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
come out of the horse's mouth. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about no ponies, man, no Pegasus, no Pegasus and all that. Shout out to all the PlayStation fans in the
Yeah,
house,
all the
man.
ponies.
I'm one of them. I love what PlayStation's doing.
Yep.
I love what the Xbox is doing right now. But I
Mm-hmm.
also love what Stadia is doing. And Stadia's out here telling us their moves, some of them that they do want us to know. They tell us.
Yep.
Well, at some point, we're going to be optimizing. At some point, Stadia will feel better to play. It'll feel better playing Stadia than on a next gen console or PC. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just like they're telling us all these things. They're telling us that they're going to reduce with the AV1 codec, for example, VP9 or VP92. There's a rumor about a VP92 or whatever the case is.
Yep.
Like they're telling us these things, people. They're telling you that in the future they're going to reduce the bandwidth required or the data required for you all to stream Stadia at higher quality. So pretty soon you're going to be playing Stadia with 4K looking visuals, but with like 1080p, 720p data usage or
Yep.
whatever, right? And then 8K, that's how they're going to get to the 8K, people. They're
Yeah.
going to get to the 8K 120 by doing the same methods. Is I mean, hey, look, man, I'm having fun today. Like it's my birthday. It's not my birthday, y'all, but I'm having fun like it is today because
Yep.
damn, have we been trying to tell people here on Stadia Dosage News platform. I mean, PNTS network and everywhere, everything that we're affiliated with, really. Like we've been
Exactly.
trying to tell people this. I hope you all are putting this together. Those of you who rock with us must be understanding where we
Mm-hmm.
come from with this. People,
Yep.
it's not to mislead you all. It's for you to sit here and listen to us and then go do your own diligence or your own research or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh,
Yep.
I know what they're saying now. It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, MM2K, man, bro, I don't know how you've done it so long, man. I just
Well.
don't. But that people, this is huge. Google has said it's Google. They came out here, they dropped 4K 60 on our head. They won. Now, to
Mm-hmm.
some people, that's not going to mean anything.
Yep.
But they're the only ones that's hitting that right now in the cloud space. You see what I'm saying? The
Yep.
only one that's really hitting that, other than Shadow and others out there. But we're talking about out of Luna, GeForce Now, and Stadia. That's the big three right now, in my opinion. Now, XCloud is they're gonna be there this year if they upgrade, if they stick to their schedule and upgrade those server blades and stuff. They're gonna be in the conversation for sure, as
Mm-hmm.
long as this is not a laggy mess when they drop it.
Yeah.
You gotta so that's all I'm saying, man.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, I think you hit that right on. And I mean, shout out to the chat. You know, you guys are sticking with it. They're like the truth.
I mean, it comes from Stadia. It doesn't come from us.
Yeah,
It comes from
it's
Stadia first.
Storm. Yep, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that thought, because
That's all.
definitely.
Man. I mean, they're telling us this. They've done 20 plus years of research. They've been having this Google Cloud thing for a long time. They've been studying. MM2K told y'all how they collect this data. They see and look at trends and they analyze different things and all this stuff. My brother kept saying it so much. I was like, shut your ass up. Don't say it no more. You already said it 50 times. If the people are not convinced yet, don't say it no more,
Yeah.
MM2K.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
But you
going to have.
kept trying to make us aware, all of the new people who would come by, like some of you right now who are in the chat for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we do it over here, y'all.
Yep.
We take what we have in front of us, and we might put a pinch of a speculation in there.
Yeah,
And many
exactly.
times we're going to let you know when it's speculation. And
Yep.
sometimes it's just hype. We're having fun, like Bibbity Bop,
Mm-hmm.
for example, who is out here. He wants Battlefield so bad on the platform, and I want it with him. As a
Exactly.
community,
Same
this is
here.
what we do. We feel each other's pain. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so I get out there and I support it. I put a like on it, Bibbity Bye. I know what you're trying to say, Bibbity. I want Battlefield 2, 128 players. We'll get into some of that later too in the discussion. But man, that's
Absolutely.
all. That's all it's about, man. They're telling us what they're doing, and people are acting like it never even like it was never said.
I mean, I guess I got to do this, and I know we're going to talk about it later, but just to precurse why, I want this message to be very clear. We're not saying that Stadia is going to convert all console gamers over tomorrow.
Right.
We're not
Right.
saying that Stadia is going to become the number one way to play even in a few months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What we're basically saying is, a huge discussion in the community. Maybe I think the number one discussion in the centrifuge of the community was: is Stadia looking to continue to support, or is Google looking to continue to support Stadia? That's all. That's all we've been addressing. We've been saying, look, we don't know which way this is going to go, which implementation is coming next. But as far as the question of, is Google trying to continue to support Stadia, the answer in so many chunks, along with what Storm said so profoundly, Google told you so, is yes. And I just find it peculiar that, like Storm said, we don't make this stuff up. Everything that we showed you as far as the sentiments that we back personally or whatever, we show you the evidence behind it. Like we did last week with the 2019 article. And I think we do so in a very detail-oriented fashion, and probably in a fashion that you may not see elsewhere. You know what I mean? With that being said, I just find it ironic that every time Google says something, they're not believed. But Microsoft, who I get a lot of people are new to this, and I'm not trying to be mean. I know there's a lot of younger gamers or a lot of people that are not familiar with Microsoft who wasn't there for the 16 gamer LAN parties on Halo like how I was and all that other stuff. I've been there since the beginning, right? So, and I know the trends of all these regimes, and particularly the Phil Spencer regime. So I find it difficult to understand. I do. And if someone can explain it to me properly at some point in time, great. But I find it difficult to understand that when Google says something, we don't believe it. But everything that Microsoft says, we believe it. When you look at even the track record of this new regime under Microsoft, a good portion of the stuff that they said they were going to do went into oblivion. They've never done. Where Google, they may say something is coming, and it comes, but it comes late. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a huge difference. And I just want people to think about that. I want people on the other end to not get caught up in some of the emotion-based stuff that we're saying out here, but check out the facts and find out what works best for your use case. If what best works for your use case is you've stumbled across cloud gaming, but you do want it to be on the level of PlayStation and Xbox, I'm here to tell you it's not happening no time soon. It's not expected to be a 4% business until 2027, I think. That's a long ways. That's a low amount and a long ways to go. So this might not be the platform for you. Just some food for thought. So,
let me say this, man. Let me say this real quick, right? So people might look at it and they might, well, what about the fact that that Google does kill things? Well, that's true, but there's a lot of things that makes them billions every year that they haven't killed, right? Yep. There's also a thing called cloud gaming, and other people are jumping into this thing by the likes of the Microsoft that MM2K was just referring to, the Amazon that we all was waiting to see when they entered the scene. And shout out to Amazon, y'all. Let me just put this out here. At times you've heard me talk trash about Amazon, the performance of Luna. You're gonna hear me talk about GeForce Now and XCloud and others, right? And you've heard me talk about Stadia if I had issues with something, right? Now that might rarely ever happen for me, but it's not perfect, right? But one thing I will say is, why would Google? I keep asking this. It's going to be the question of the day. Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar business.
Yep.
Google knew that Microsoft and Amazon was going to jump into this game. They probably knew that Walmart and others were coming as well. PlayStation for sure, they had already been there, right?
Yep. So
if Google's going to come into this thing, think that they're going to make billions of dollars in the first year or two, which they don't. They've already told us this too, which they don't. And then they pull the plug. I'm going to question that myself. I'll be right on the other side of the fence like, come on, Google, what are y'all doing? But why would they do that MM2K when they know that everybody's racing for this billion gamers? And how are they going to get to these billion of gamers? AT&T deals, BT deals, Verizon deals, getting these mobile gamers who are going to have all these advanced mobile phones that we're using right now to play Stadia, even if it's for 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, y'all. This is how it's going to happen. Now, I get tired of coming out here, you know what I'm saying this stuff for people not to listen to me, man.
For
today, I want one person to listen to me. Just one person.
One time.
Google knows that this is a race to a billion cloud gamers. A billion gamers, because we're all in this industry together. If Google says we give up, shame on Google. But can we see that happening is the question of the day, y'all. Can we really see Google giving up on this when they have the most advanced technology right now, MM2K, when developers and publishers are bringing their games to the platform? Some of the games that shouldn't even be here, but they're here right now in this early phase of 18 months, man. Like, really? Really? I just asked that. That's all. I just need somebody to give me a good answer, man. Give me a counter to that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, man. And shout out to Chris. We ain't seen Chris in a moment. Chris
has been putting them likes on my tweets, man. I know Chris is good when he put the likes on the tweet. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Chris.
And I saw Chris on the Megatron X stream. Meg breaking her thing down, doing the damn thing out there on ESO and Biomutant and all that. Shout out to Meg.
He says, what's next on Google's update list after rolling out Stadia in Google and Android TVs? We don't know as of yet, and we know that, this is how I look at it, Chris. Again, I look at it as a 2% business, so you're not going to see tactics that you see from an Xbox or a PlayStation, because even if they throw everything but the kitchen sink at it, they're only going to reach a ceiling of 2% of people. And a lot of people may say, oh, no, I don't believe that. Well, we can believe whatever we want. Like I always, a thing that I always put out there is, if I can say that I'm the Pope all I want. The fact is I'm not the Pope. And there's evidence and proof that I'm not the Pope. And so there's evidence and proof that even if they throw everything but the kitchen sink at it, they're only going to reach a 2% of the gamers out there. Why? Because you got to understand the psychology of the gamers. When analysts do their projections, they're throwing psychology in there too. And the fact of the matter is that the average gamer just isn't warmed up to the idea of cloud gaming. Not that cloud gaming isn't capable, they're just not warmed up to it yet. So that's why they have such, I don't want to say low projections, but that's why it's just such a small slice of the pie even 6 years from now. Now, an additional 3 or 4 years from that, who knows? It may double, whatever the case may be. And it's on a good trajectory. But as far as us getting as constant updates as we're getting for Xbox and PlayStation, I don't think we may or we may not see that this year. Who knows? And I'm okay with that because, again, this is an emerging platform. I think the question is, now they still have competitors and they still got to compete. So who are those competitors? The competitors on the cloud market. So when you look at the competitors on the cloud market, what you got to ask is, okay, how were their announcements bumped up against GFN or Amazon? You know what I'm saying? Or Shadow. And when I look at how their announcements compare up to theirs, I'm quite satisfied. They're keeping pace. And when I say how well are their announcements in comparison to those, I don't mean are they, beating them to a pulp or whatever. No, but are they keeping pace? Their announcements are generating enough buzz and enough anticipation and enough excitement across the social media spectrums and all other litmuses that are important as a GFN and other announcements are. How do I know that? Well, we run the numbers show for Stadia here every month, so we can see it in the data. GFN is doing a hell of a job, and over the last few months, they have been churning it up a lot, but Stadia is still keeping pace. So with that said, if you look at it through that lens, I can't look at it through a lens of a PlayStation or an Xbox because they're not there yet. None of these cloud platforms are there. And even when you bring up GFN, I've said this in numerous other podcasts, Storm. I bring up GFN. I say GFN because when people battle cloud gaming and say cloud gaming is going away the dodo bird, I say, well, even GFN has registered 10 million users. You know what happens when I do that, y'all? They bust out in laughter. They say 10 million users. They say, but GFN has been around since XYZ, and where's GFN's exclusives? You know what I'm saying? We hear stuff like that. So again, we got to understand that there's a psyche wall that's up right now between cloud gaming, a platform that we know because we are not followers, we're leaders. So we led ourselves to this platform. But the followers that are the majority of the gaming community, they're not going to just all of a sudden overnight hop on this. Doesn't mean it's not capable. It's more than enough capable, and we're proof to that. But you got to get through the psyche of the average gamer for them to accept cloud gaming, because they still believe the motif of, well, I want to own my game, and they don't understand that you don't own nothing. You're given a license, and they can do whatever they want with their license. They don't understand the advent of DRM increasing even on single player games, stuff like that. So until we get past that psyche, that ceiling for cloud gaming is only going to be but so high. So when we look at expectations, we got to look at expectations versus other cloud platforms, not necessarily Xbox and PlayStation, but when they do exceed expectations and do something as great as them, take that as a bonus. Those are just my thoughts, Storm. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, I think you just said something that was, man, blew my mind almost, man. When you said something as simple as we're we're leaders. We're not
Yes,
followers. Y'all think about that for a minute, man. We're cloud pioneers, right? We're the founders, if you want to call
absolutely.
us that. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Think about it. We could have said no to cloud gaming people, but all
Mm-hmm.
of us right now here that's checking this out, we took that plunge and we said, nah, hell no. I've always been a leader. Nope. When it comes to my gaming, I'm gonna be a leader today. Whatever y'all said, you took
Yep.
that plunge, and now some of us are too deep into it. We can't go
Mm-hmm.
back. Damn, MM2K. Man, Randy said something that's important too, right here, man.
Yep. Shout out to Randy.
Said Project Storm. He said, "Fact, there's no way Google is going to abandon Stadia this late, and especially when they're getting traction with the Google Store opening, the AT&T deal, and Google TV support." Man, Randy, that's not the end of it. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you. I promise you that. I
Yep.
don't work for Google. I don't have my own personal insight or anything, but I just know how to put one and one together. I tell you that I believe that Stadia is into this thing. They're fully into it. They made that big major move early on, man. Y'all got to stay with us now. Stay with me and MM2K today. And then you come to your own conclusion or share it with us. Y'all know how to
Mm-hmm.
find us. Hit us up. Hit us up on Twitter for sure. And however, if MM2K, I don't know about you, but once you follow me, I follow back, and then I know we can communicate like that. Y'all hit me up. I'm open for
Mm-hmm.
conversation,
We're open,
especially if
yeah.
it's about cloud gaming and making it better.
Absolutely. We got open door policy, and again, like not just to those, again, to new content creators, and it's good that. And Storm, I'm glad you did that, because I get buried down, my head buried down in the work, and I forget to mention this. The platform is open. We're open to conversations, whatever the case may be. If you're a new content creator, I know I saw somebody in there say, "Put me on." We're working
Yeah, I
on
saw that.
new.
Yep.
We're working on new content, all the other stuff. Now, I got a spiritual advisor, and I got a shrink. My shrink is Project
He's
Storm.
in
He's
the
the one that
house.
keeps.
He
He's the
was in
one
the
that keeps
house.
me alive.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the spirit. Oh, yeah, the spiritual advisor
Spiritual
was in the
advisors
house
in the house,
too.
but I'm talking about you,
He
my.
said, what did he say? He said something like, "What's going on in here?
What's this
What's the
babble?
shenanigans?" Yeah, Bibble Babble. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, Storm is my psych. So
Jibber jabber. Yeah.
when I go too far off the reservation, he pulls like, "Nope, stop it." But yeah, we're willing to talk, and because we're going to do some great things. It's just we've had to pull the lever on some things, and when you're working with people, sometimes, Storm, everybody has lives and things happen. So
That's
if
it.
somebody is busy and they can't finalize something, that kind of it's like a domino
And
effect. But we're
yo,
getting there.
you're very understanding of that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like things come up. I used to get mad, y'all. I used to be like, "What you mean?
Hey,
We
yo,
might not have no damn SML. What you
yeah.
mean we might not be able to do SSC today
Storm.
because you got something to do? I don't care about life. I care about the people, man. Let's get out here. The people need to hear something." So, but I was trying to fire my brother at one point, y'all. I was trying to fire him
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the SML podcast rotates on my channel. I tried to fire this, but I was going to replace him with Chariot Man, Christopher Torres, anybody that would have taken that role on at that time, man. But I couldn't.
Oh
Then I thought
man.
about it. I can't let my brother go, man. He has to stay here,
No,
and, and he helped me get on. You know what I'm saying?
when these things drop, and I know you're like, well, when are they going to drop? Just bear with us. We're just trying to keep you guys informed and keep you up to date. When these things drop, y'all got to give my brother Project Storm flowers. Like, as me, because I got so many things happening on the plate, somebody may fall behind on something and it don't catch me on, immediately. Storm will hit me up. Hey, bro, what's going on with such and such? I know one thing that we're working on in particular. Storm was like, okay, I'm gonna let Moss ride with this. He's gonna be in charge. As soon as he felt things slipping to the wayside, he hit my man up. Was like, well, yo, what's going on with this, that? I said, there we go.
All right.
There we go.
We're not playing when it comes to the people, man. I'm telling you, I'll get out there. I'm telling you now, y'all. I don't really like. You might think that I like being on the microphone, y'all. I'd rather be behind the scenes pricking these thumbsticks right here that you hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me see. I'll be doing that. I'd rather be doing that right there and enjoying my gameplay time, y'all. But I feel like I have to be a part of the conversation, man, because there's too much BS out here, y'all.
Yep.
And all of us, we do have voices, so never feel like you're just not, you're afraid or you're shy and all of that stuff, man. We always open the conversation, the floor up to people like Zajic and Bibbidi Bop and everybody else, especially on SML podcast when we open the phone lines. We're so bold and we believe in the community so much that we open up the phone lines. Now, who in their right minds are going to do that?
Who would do that?
I'll wait.
Exactly.
I'll wait, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait.
You say crickets. Was that commercial? Crickets or silence? No, we're willing to work with anybody. We're all about the community, definitely here. That's why we make sure that things are pivoting from a fact-based orientation all the time. And like we got a pedigree in it. Shout out to the homie Dirk Griggity. Shout out to Dirk Griggity. Shout out to We Bleed Green. Dirt will tell you, man, how we came up on each other is that we both were in a battle on Twitter with Porter Rock. Now, Porter Rock is the single man debate slayer. You know what I'm saying? He takes out whole crews, and we would try to tag team on Porter Rock. And, I hooked up with Dirt. I said, Dirt, I think you should make content. He was like, no, man. He was real meek and mellow. Now look at him. My brother is pulling in thousands of views a show. We Bleed Green is one of the premier Xbox podcasts out there. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely are in the mindset of working with people and helping people extend their brand. You know what I'm saying? So and also to help people, just do what they want to do with this thing. So definitely just hit us up behind the scenes and we'll definitely reach back and see what we can do. This is a busy time right now. So don't think we're ignoring you if we don't hit you back within 3 seconds, but we're definitely got you slotted. We'll give you a thumbs up and let you know that we got plans to settle whatever we need to settle with you and help you however you want to be helped. With that being said, let's continue on, Storm. So I think the deal is huge. You agree with me? You're not surprised by it, though, and I'm not either. That's why I just put out there, this is huge. You just put out the dragons out there, but we just didn't go wild about it. The only thing I tweeted constantly about, and I want to get your thoughts on this real quick, it's silly stuff, but the constant reminding of SG&E closing down. Like, we're continuing to see articles. Like, even when there's positive Stadia news, there's publications, not all of them, but too many of them, in my mind, that want to keep bringing up SG&E. And I know there was a counter argument put out there that, bad stuff, even if it exploded at one point in time, you'll continue to see it. Yes and no. There has to be a reasonable statute of limitations based upon what the subject matter is. And one in particular was, I'm not going to name the publication, but one in particular was an article who spoke, I think on detail of the subject matter of AT&T and the Stadia deal. Was it all glowing? No, but I think it was a fair article. And at the end, they threw in, and this is after Stadia closed down its first party studio. Had nothing to do with the prior article at all. So shout out to Clive Linden and others who pointed out this would be like after Halo Infinite was delayed, something that a lot of content creators said was instrumental to the launch of the Xbox. And I agree. They were like, if Xbox want to launch their Xbox Series consoles and have it have equivalent numbers or close the gap between them and PlayStation significantly, Halo has to launch with it. And it didn't. And guess what happened? The gap is now wider now, so those people were correct. But even after some point in time after that, as Xbox continued to make amends for Halo in other ways, Halo was no longer a subject matter, maybe a month, two at the most, in a lot of these articles. We're still 4 months, almost 4.5 months after the fact. And every single Stadia article still tries to embed SG&E. So you have a huge difference and contrast in how Stadia is being treated in the press and how Xbox is being treated in the press. Now, here's my question to you, Storm, because I just find it ironic that these same media figures think it's okay to compare what Stadia offers to Xbox and PlayStation, but they don't treat them the same in the press. What are your thoughts about that?
See, there's one that they want gone, and the other ones they want to celebrate because they got Game Pass and Bethesda. That's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. They,
Yep.
that's the difference right now. People, so a lot of them don't even care about the lineage of Xbox as a brand. They don't care about that. They just care about what's hot right now. What people are hyping up right now. And I'm not saying that like Game Pass don't deserve to be celebrated or Xbox doesn't deserve to be celebrated, y'all. I have a Series X right here on the right hand
Mm-hmm.
side of my TV, y'all. So, but what I'm saying is though, Stadia just gets a different. It gets that bad light because it was first on the scene to really make cloud gaming really stand out and noticeable. I'm talking about yes, you had GeForce Now and PS Now and all that stuff, and people started thinking about possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But then you kept hearing a lot about On Live. Remember On Live? This thing called On Live has already tried it before, is what I've been reading
Yep.
out here in the streets, right? So what makes you think Google was going to be able to pull it off if if On Live haven't?
Mm-hmm.
Man, if I'm lying, I'm flying, and I don't have no damn wings. You know what I'm saying? So listen, y'all. I told you you're gonna get a show today if that's what you want, man. Because enough is enough. But yeah, it's just that Stadia's out here. They made it happen, y'all. 4K 60. Yeah, right in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
People barely could get that on their consoles. How are they gonna do that, man? I've been a part of all these types of discussions with my friends, right?
Yep.
So and then here comes Stadia. They come out here. Yes, they dropped the ball on a couple things consumer wise, right? Like features that people thought were going to be their games, a slim library of about 22 games that was at first announced as 12 games, I think, y'all. And then so certain things happen. And man, that kind of added more fuel to the fire for all of the skeptics and naysayers. Now it's to a point where Stadia is like out here and they're making splashes like this. People saw Cyberpunk running on the platform. They saw Immortals Phoenix Rising. They saw Doom Eternal. Digital Foundry helped show that. Shout out to them. They saw
Mm-hmm.
Doom Eternal, MM2K, and they saw other games and stuff happening, moves that was being made, partnerships being formed, and they really saw that Stadia could do this.
Yep.
Boy, when they saw that right there, MM2K, it was over. It
Yeah.
was over for Stadia was never destined to get that fanfare because you were gonna have haters who thought that Stadia was out to kill their favorite way to play.
Yeah.
So there was
Yep.
never they were never destined to get the kind of fame that like a game like Valheim or something got out of
Mm-hmm.
nowhere, selling a million copies, over a million copies, and multiple millions of copies in a couple weeks. It was just never destined to happen for Stadia because they were out here. They really are the trailblazers, in my opinion, y'all. Like they're really the ones that saying, "Yep, cloud gaming can work." And not only can it work, there could be cloud native gaming with a native platform and all that stuff. And Stadia was the first to do it, man. That's just how I
Yeah.
feel. Nobody can take that away from me. It's based on facts.
Yep.
And it is what it is. I mean, all I could do is tell the truth. All I could do is just tell you the
That's all
truth,
you
man.
can do, brother.
So that's what it is. But for right now for XCloud, let's talk XCloud real quick
Yep.
because it's in the
Okay.
cloud
Uh-oh.
gaming space.
Uh-oh.
You shouldn't have said Microsoft, man. Again, I have an Xbox with 88,000 achievements. Somebody could check. Hey, you know how they achievement check, right? They always
Exactly.
try to
Yeah.
call.
Shout
They
out to
caught
King
our homie
Thrash.
Doc Dark. They caught our homie Doc Dark out there. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh man.
Doc had to say, look, man, I'm not a bot. No, I'm not an X-bot any longer and all that stuff. Shout out to Doc, man. That's my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Doc, hopefully he's having a great time coming from vacation, man. But Doc keeps it real. He's
Yep.
transparent with his, right?
Yep.
So, but people want to check the achievements. You know what I'm saying? Project Storm is the gamer tag. Project Space Storm. Check my gamer tag out, y'all. I've been on these platforms really getting it in. Got trophies on PlayStation as well, y'all. Check them out. But MM. People are out here like XCloud. They keep talking Stadia, 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 right? But I
Mm-hmm.
don't see the same kind of energy when it comes to XCloud, given that XCloud just barely got out of the 720p club.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation Now, they just got out, but PlayStation Now gets a pass because Sony's not out here. They see the ponies are not over here talking to cash money trash about PlayStation Now being better than Stadia and all that stuff because they know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
They know what the real deal is. They know that Stadia's out here looking the way it looks. And how do they know? Because Project Storm and MM2K, boy, and them boys right there, and
Mm-hmm.
others out here in the community that's being vocal about all this stuff. They've gotten a glimpse of it. Believe me, people have heard about Stadia. More people have heard about Stadia by now than you think. You know what I'm saying? It's just the big time YouTubers and stuff that's kind of deterring them from really putting their hands on the
Mm-hmm.
controllers and all that. But anyway, that's my point. So the point is that XCloud is nowhere near on the level of Stadia. They have all the games, but they've had thousands of games and they still got criticized for not having exclusives that people wanted. MM2K,
Mm-hmm.
like how do you have exclusives? Listen, man, how do you have exclusive games? Talking about SG&E, how do you have exclusive games and you get criticized for having no exclusives?
Mm-hmm. Because
I'm
of
asking. I'm asking you, man. Do you know like
because
how do you get that kind of fire when you have exclusives? What?
mm-hmm. Because and I've dealt with this last week where I like to reverse troll people where people will come in here and they just have this thought that because I like Stadia I must be some bucktooth goof nut sitting on my grandma's couch in the
Yeah.
basement with a ball of Jergens. No, that's not the case. Like, and they come in here and they get pat 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 real quick. You know what I'm saying? They get that pat pat treatment real
Oh
quick.
man.
So they don't do their research and they're just echoing sentiments out there on Twitter. Shout out to Stadia Doc who showed this. We got one guy who said, what did he say? Stadia doesn't have this and don't have that, which was all wrong. And we're like, you're wrong. And he's like, but no, but 5 YouTubers told me. So I'm like, well, do you need those 5 YouTubers to bite into a sandwich and tell you if the damn thing tastes good? Like, but that's where we're at. That's the psyche. Again, that's that psyche that analysts know about Storm, and they know that psyche is there, whether it should be there or not. We got to understand that we're leaders. And the majority of gamers are followers. They just want to pick up an article or just see a game, a trailer, and it tell them where to go. They're not like us. We're
Hey,
a
Emma, I'll be
peculiar
right back.
bunch.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Give me a
Oh, go ahead,
second. It's,
brother.
it's starting to storm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Okay.
getting worked up. So it's
Yes, it
storming
is.
outside. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, there's gamers that are followers opposed to being leaders. And that is the majority of gamers. I had to learn that the quick way. Let me tell y'all a story real quick while Storm is addressing the storm. No pun intended. And I get why a lot of people may have this, I hate to say it, pie in the sky motif about the conversion rate of the average gamer to cloud. But there's a reason why analysts feel the way that they do and they use the projections that they use because they're those numbers are more grounded. When the Xbox One X released, the aforementioned Porter Rock, me and him had a bet. And I said, ooh, when the Xbox One X releases, it's going to do this and it can do that. And it's going to make your third-party games bigger. And only 6% of the games
All right.
purchased, only 6% of the games purchased. I'm telling them a story, Storm, of this whole pie in the sky notion that we have about why people think Xbox is just going to flip the switch and turn things around overnight, to where cloud gaming is going to have a 50% adoption rate when it's not. And I explained to them why lineage is important. There's a reason why analysts have the numbers and the projections that they have. And I'm giving an example of where I had to be schooled too. So again, Xbox One X was dropping. I'm a big Xbox fan. I'm like, yeah, PlayStation talk about 1080p 60 makes you a better gamer. Well, because 1080p 60 makes you a better gamer, 4K 60 is going to make you the ultimate gamer. People, when they get their tax returns, they're going to do this, and people are going to always want the latest and greatest. And Xbox, they have this Game Pass thing coming. They have the Play Anywhere thing coming. All this stuff similar to the pie in the sky stuff that you guys see right now that made y'all believe that Xbox was going to take over, right? Porter Rock looked at me and simply said, no, It's not going to go anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's going to get worse. Watch me, MM2K. And I had a bet with him. And I didn't rule, and I pulled the bet at the last moment. I was like, pull the rock. Can you allow me not to take this L? You know what I'm saying? Because now I'm seeing what you're saying. Because you were allowing me to go down a path that I was just ignoring. You know, but now I can see exactly where you're coming from. And the thing is that even though the Xbox One X definitely is a better console than the PlayStation 4 Pro, the PlayStation 4 Pro is part of the PlayStation brand that already has lineage with the current gamers. And the only way to tackle that lineage is to have the games that the PlayStation has, or at the level, to get the accolades that those games get. So just giving people, even though the majority of the games, 90%, 96% of the games that were bought were multiplat, that didn't matter. The marketing and the mind share was with PlayStation in regards to that demographic. So, if you don't have the capabilities and you can't do the things and you can't appeal to that demographic that's number one for that demographic, then you're not going to win over. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to win them over. I don't care what slogan you have, it's not going to be effective if it don't tackle the top things. So, again, when it comes to the mainstream gaming demographic, you got to have a certain amount of performance that you can boast, and you got to have access to the games that they're playing. If you don't have both, you're not going to be able to win them over. And there is this belief that when Xbox upgrades their server blades, that performance is going to come automatically. And I'm here to tell you that if you follow Xbox, when it comes to, look, right now, Xbox is boasting, and they've had the most powerful console 90% of the launches that they've been out since. The only launch that they've come out where their console wasn't better than the competition was the Xbox One launch. But the ones preceding, the ones after, they've always made the better console. And they're in last place. They launched the Xbox Series X. Guess what? 50% of the games that have come out for the platform have been better on the PlayStation 5 as far as performance is concerned. Okay? Most of the games that win it over for the Xbox Series X as far as performance is concerned is backwards compatible games. But those are not the majority of the games that people want to play when they buy a new console. So Xbox, again, as far as being the world's most powerful console, they haven't delivered exactly on that promise. And don't take that from me. You can listen to the number one Xbox podcasts out there. We had a podcast the other day where, because Ratchet and Clank came out and it looks better than anything that's on Xbox in the minds of many, Colt Eastwood himself said that, yeah, it kind of stings when you really don't have a game that came out for Xbox except X, Y, and Z when you see Ratchet and Clank. This is not coming just from me. I'm telling you the sentiments that are out there that we're siloed from, Storm. So what people got to understand is that even though we're enthused about cloud gaming, we know its potential. You got to get past that fourth wall, which is the psyche of the general gamer. And Xbox, who again cannot deliver on the most powerful console promise in the eyes of many, who have had the best consoles in previous generations except for one. You're trying to tell me that they're going to leapfrog everything that Shadow, Amazon, Luna, GFN, and Stadia can do from last because they said so? I don't see the evidence of that. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because this is just conjecture from me. But I'm using my experience with Xbox. They make a lot of pie in the sky promises and they don't deliver on them. So again, I'm not saying Xbox is doing bad, but I think it's important for us to have that lineage, to have that understanding. This is a 2% business. And it's great that Xbox is making these promises. It's great that the news media like what they like a lot of stuff that Xbox is doing. But when you look at the raw numbers always matter, as Porter Rock had to show me years ago. And the raw numbers don't point to that. So just be cautious. You know what I'm saying? Just be cautious. Look at those numbers. The performance right now, Xbox, we do want it to get better. We hope it gets better. But don't just assume anything that Xbox says. They've been thrown under the bus, under their own tongue previously. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
So let me throw this out here. What my brother is trying to say, y'all, is not that we don't think Xbox is important to this cloud space. This is what he's saying. We need them all. We've been on record saying we need them all. We welcome them all. There's enough room in this space that they can all get some of this pie, man. That pie is very delicious in the cloud. Imagine having some cloud pie. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. It'll be delicious, right? So there's enough pie to go around for all of these. It's infinite space, man. We're talking about space now. We're getting closer to space when you're talking about cloud, man. So with that being said, we just have to put that into perspective, because I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it with your own eyes or heard it with your own ears, you would think that we are out here capping for Stadia and going against Xbox, and that's not the case. But for some reason, like MM was saying, some people are not taking the time to vet things, research, and all that stuff. So when they get out here and they have a battle with an MM2K or whoever else, even in Now Your Mama Knows or anybody that's out here in the chat, you come out here and you have conversations and you versus somebody like that. If you don't have your facts straight, you might look a little silly. You might get embarrassed. So that's why I'm always trying to have my hands on every article, or I could get them on, get my filthy paws on whatever I could find to back my claims. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to win them all. But you don't want to be out here looking like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's what I just wanted to suggest.
I urge people again. I put the fig leaves out there. Go back to the Fortune magazine article. I'm not Fortune magazine article, but Fortune magazine video. Look up Fortune magazine Phil Spencer interview. If for those of you that have this infinite belief about Xbox, and if you haven't heard that interview, then that's a pure sign that you got to do some more research. All right. In that interview, that interview was infamous because it really pulled the curtain back on Xbox and their performance and them meeting milestones, and why there was a lot of doubt of what they were doing going into this generation. So the guy asked him, he said, why don't you just, he said, look, at the time XCloud wasn't out yet, all the other cloud gaming platforms were at least playable on the PC. He said, why don't you just put it out? Just slap a beta on it. Just do what everybody else is doing. And Phil Spencer said, would you ship that? He said that himself. Would you ship that? Now, this is at a time to where cloud gaming companies are really churning it up. They're really doing their research, their investment in their platforms, and they're like, okay, we're at a point now to where we can put this out, and we're ready to go. And their talk wasn't as loud as Xbox was when cloud gaming really started to become part of the talking ethos. So they're ready to put their stuff out there. They're ready to move forward. And you know that for the AI and machine learning process, you need not only gamers, a lot of gamers, but you need time. Time and gamers are important. Xbox is last behind everybody. Let's take Stadia out of the equation. I don't think Xbox will even be able to compete with Amazon. I don't know how well they're going to be able to compete against GFN, because GFN has talked about Storm upgrading to the Ampere servers, where they're going to be able to do 4K.
No, but you got to remember, the reason why it is not the same fanfare fest that you're seeing right now on the XCloud side is because the tech is not there yet. People keep saying the tech is not that important, right? But as the Xbox gamers as a whole, why they don't play XCloud that much as a whole in its entirety, right? See what kind of results you get. I've been seeing it. We showed examples right here on either SML or SSC. We've shown examples of what people are saying about XCloud. And if you need those, we can find them. You know what I'm saying? We can find some for you. It's just it's just not there yet. That's all. I mean,
Yes,
people don't want 1080p 30 and 720p 30 and 1080p 60, but it is not holding up the same as Stadia. They want Stadia. They want better than Stadia because people are trashing Stadia. MMPK
exactly.
in chat. Hold
Yeah,
on. If you
yeah,
if you can't do better than what people are trashing right now,
yeah,
when I look at Stadia, I'm thinking you capping.
yeah, yep. No, you're right, Storm. You're 1,000% right. I think there's a disconnect, and I know we were going to touch on this later, but we kind of flipped the script on this, but we just go with the flow. I think, Storm, there's a disconnect between our enthusiasm as being that peculiar few, and I think that there are people that believe. Now, I'm not saying, Storm, that Xbox won't kickstart some things. I think it'll,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
when Xbox comes in, and then they do ever present whatever they got offering when XCloud is out of beta or whatever, and they do add those 4K servers. I do think it's going to put attention on it regardless of the
Oh, of
performance
course it is.
because it's Microsoft and Xbox. I'm not saying it's not going to give it a bump, but the saturation that we're hearing, absolutely not. Why? Because there's just a fourth wall that is up there that gamers have versus cloud gaming. And
Remember,
Storm's
MM2K, people don't have the infrastructure at their homes to
yeah.
even do cloud gaming. So whatever XCloud does, all the people who have said things like that, I have data caps to worry about and all this stuff. You got to say the same thing when XCloud upgrades. You know what I'm saying?
And
Or
even
else it's going
though
to be kind of sketchy.
and even though Storm, that's not necessarily true. That's just a lot of that is bibble babble that those talking points that they use.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still believe it. So because they still believe it, they're not even going to give it a try. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not even going to touch it. Why, Storm? Because, like you said, in order for you to get a high adoption rate of new technology in regards to something, that new technology has to be able to perform better than the current technology. So if the average gamer don't care about downloads or all that other stuff at the moment, and you can't say, ooh, xCloud performs just as good as the Xbox Series X or the S on every benchmark, it performs just as, if you can't prove that, then it's not going to get the saturation. If you can prove that it performs just as good or better, then you got to go through another wall, which is the media. They got to accept it, and they're going to fight it. But those are the things that you got to go through. There's a psyche wall up there. And until that psyche wall is broken down, Xbox alone isn't going to break down that psyche wall. They can't even break down the psyche wall in the space that they're fighting right now. They're in last place in their largest demographic area, NPD. For those of my friends over the pond or wherever you may be, if you're not familiar with NPD, you need to watch the NPD statistics every month. They'll tell you. So again, I'm very excited for cloud gaming. I'm very happy for when Xbox jumps in because Xbox is going to provide a boost. But to think that that boost is going to go from 2% to 50%, that's pie in the sky. And I say it's pie in the sky not to be mean, Storm. I say it's pie in the sky because no data suggests it. No data that we've seen from analysts, no data that we've seen from the companies themselves. They don't even have that belief. So it's just some stuff out there. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, they better have that Google technology.
Yeah,
they're gonna need
at least. They're gonna need at least that. They're gonna need at least that. You're gonna have to have, if you want high adoption rates, you gotta have performance that's on par at the very least. And that's not even gonna win you over automatically. You gotta have performance that's on par with the dedicated device alternatives. If you do, then you have a starting point to get high saturation. It's not guaranteed. There's other battles. But if you're not there, like if these 4K blades don't work as well as the Xbox Series X or the S can on all the major litmuses, You're not going to get, you don't have a starting point for that high saturation. So we got to keep things in proper perspective. Cloud gaming is a 2, maybe 4% business in 2027. We know it's great. It's getting great trajectory. It is the future of gaming. But just because Xbox jumps in this, it's not going to flip the switch overnight. Period. With that said, Storm, we did kind of mix it up a little bit. But I wanted to get into the other big announcement on this week on Stadia, which was the huge AT&T deal. I mean, Jesus Christ, not the huge.
Just did that.
We just did that. The other story on the Stadia blog, which was the support coming to all these devices and TVs. You know how we do. Let me show you something. All right. Let me read just real quick. Stadia version of Stadia on Chromecast with Google TV is launching June 23rd. We're also happy to confirm that starting the same day, you'll be able to play Stadia on Android TV OS devices. Stadia will be officially supported on the following Google TV and Android TV devices: Chromecast with Google TV, Hisense, NVIDIA Shield TV, NVIDIA Shield TV Pro, ONN FHD streaming stick and UHD streaming device, Philips, Xiaomi Mi Box 3 and Mi Box 4. In addition to these devices listed here, you'll be able to try Stadia on any Google TV or other Android TV operating system device by opting into with experimental support. To try it out, install and launch the Stadia app on your Google TV or Android TV device and press continue to opt in. Be sure to let us know how it goes. Help testing out new features makes it easier for us to give critical feedback. Storm, what is your thoughts on this support, man?
Now, we didn't tell the people how many customers AT&T has, but I think last time I checked this year, around April,
I got it up. I can throw it up real quick.
Hold on. Oh, man, throw it up there. Throw it up there.
Let me throw it up there because that's huge.
So I'm not looking like I'm capping or whatever. You know, I'm sounding like I'm capping out here.
Captain Hook.
But it's over 100 million. I'll say that.
186 million, bro.
186 million potential. This is your potential reach right now when you do a partnership like this right here. Now, of course, not all of them are going to try Stadia, right? But if you get whatever percentage, 5-10%, if you're lucky to jump on that in a timely fashion, then you've done something right there. You know what I mean? Now, that's just one piece of this whole equation, though. MM just showed y'all, if you go back to the other article, man, that you just put up. Now that right there is big. Y'all could check that out. You could Google it, research it. Yeah, but this right here is the big stuff, going back to what MM2K had up on the screen. Like all of these other places that you're going to be able to play Stadia without even needing dedicated hardware like the Chromecast Ultra, not even like a keyboard or mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like just native support on TVs and NVIDIA Shield and all, even the Walmart, the ONN or whatever device that you could get at Walmart or whatever the case is. It's still, I'm trying to wrap my mind around all of this stuff. How is this? Come on, Stadia. Like how? Come on, Google. How?
Like what are you doing to us, Google?
Like what are y'all trying to do? Like I get it. Everybody wanted all of this at one time. Some people wanted all of this at one time. And if they wanted they wanted it at launch.
Yeah.
What will we do with all of this at launch, y'all? On day one. Like, what will we do with all this? So you got to roll these things out, man. Partnerships are going to be formed. But there's a day, hey, all this. Let me stop talking about Xbox. We got to talk about somebody else, man. Partnerships don't happen in the first week that you launch a product, man. First month, first year.
Yep.
It takes a while sometimes for these things to unfold. You have to put infrastructure in place. Some devices have to be upgraded, like the Google TV. That could possibly have compatibility with the AV1 codec and all that stuff. Shout out to everybody, JD and everybody on the chat that reminded us that, man, they have an Ethernet adapter for the Google TV device that you could plug your Ethernet cable into as if it was the existing Chromecast Ultra. I did not know that because y'all know me. I'm a desktop storm. 4K 120, 8K 120 desktop storm. That's me. Yep. But all these devices right there, man. Hisense, who I didn't even know that I had no idea they were working with Hisense or with their Android smart TVs or anything like that. We were talking other brands, but this Philips, man. Now, so they were doing things like, remember when I kept saying to people, yo, you think Phil Harrison is just sitting on his hands, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on his hands, not doing anything, just shaving his head so that he has a fresh bald head and everything. So when he gets on stage at the next connect, is that what people are thinking that Phil is doing out there and
Yeah.
his team or whoever's under him? Like, people, this is it. This right here shows that they're really ready for this thing, man. This is just, and it's still the beginning stages. Believe me, it's still the beginning stages, y'all. This is not 5 years. Time has not been fast forwarded because you're gonna hear more announcements. This I can
Yep.
almost assure you. So, MM, I don't know what else to say. I know damn well that this new TV that I'm about to bring into my home is gonna have the AV1 codec support. I know
Yep.
that much. I'll be able to watch YouTube videos with a lot less bandwidth and all that stuff. And yo, I don't know, man. So I'm just trying to be prepared for it all. While everybody out here trying to figure out what is real, let me scratch that and make sure it's real. Let me sniff it. Oh, it's real. By that
Mm.
time, I've already moved on to 8K 120 in the future or whatever, y'all. Like, that's what I'm thinking right now. Why do you believe, Storm? Why do you believe what Stadia is telling you? Why do you believe, Storm, when they haven't delivered on all their promises, in quotation? I put that in quotes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because I got my hands on the platform. I realized with MM2K and others out here telling us, Jack, breaking down this data, these numbers and everything, and others out there who realize that cloud gaming, Forbes and others, realizing that this is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. Just the cloud, just this sector alone is going to generate billions potentially. Is it already generating billions for the whole as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal, MM. There's growth for this. There's convenience for a lot of gamers. There's a way to get gamers and this cloud gaming into the hands of many gamers who may not even touch a damn console ever in their life or a PC. Man, this is why I'm investing into it. I'm a gamer, y'all, and I evolve with gaming. This right here is huge to see because it's gonna get, again. You're sitting down and you have one of these products. You see a commercial on YouTube. You see an advertisement on YouTube or anything, a survey on YouTube. How much gaming do you play? I mean, do you
Yeah.
like for per week? How many hours per week do you consider? I mean, do you put into gaming? Easy click. If you're making an easy click, somebody might click on that, man. So they take all this data, they analyze, and then they're telling you right here, performance-wise, that once these devices are in people's homes, once you get your hands on Stadia, they're telling you that they're going to be working to improve it based on the data, all the data
Mm-hmm.
collection phases and stuff you kept talking about, man. Bro, I could just see it very clearly. I
Yeah.
could see it, y'all. I don't know. I'm happy. I'm excited, man. It's a lot going on, but this is nothing right here. I feel like this is nothing. I feel
Yeah.
like
You
Google
think this
has
is
more
just a
stuff
tight?
that's just
Yeah.
going to blow
Yep.
our minds, man. It's going to
Exactly.
blow our minds.
Ooh, blow your mind, baby. Yep. I agree with you, brother. Uh, here's
And I'm not trying to take anything. This is a major bombshell, man. Both of these announcements are major bombshells when it comes to Stadia consumers and all that. And for the people, all the naysayers, it's like, how do you call your same friend up that you just told to stay away from Stadia, and they see things like this, like you just told them it's dead though.
mm,
Are they gonna
yeah.
look at you like you've been lying to them?
Well, I mean, look, we kind of we speak about this all the time. At some point in time, you got. I always tell my kids this because again, they get on my case. They say, "Dad, you're too much. You're always too extreme when you're trying to talk to us." And I say, "No, it's just that when y'all repeatedly bump your head against the wall, I'm looking at it as, imagine somebody seeing you going into a cave where there's a bear laying there, right? And I'm like, yo, don't go in the bear cave. And you just turn and look at me and like, well, I don't see the bear, so it must not be there. And I'm like, no, I've been here longer than you. I saw the bear just go into that cave. At least be cautious. Oh, and you walk straight into the bear cave. At some point in time, I just got to go. Oh, I tried to warn you. Hopefully you don't get mauled too bad. So I think we're at the point. I mean, we ran into this last year's storm where you were telling people, and it wasn't that I doubted you. It's just that I was being very cautious. Like, we're gonna see how this pan out. But you were 1,000% right on what you said was going to roll out. Particularly at the end of the year. And people were like, yeah, Storm was right. But then we went back to that same habit this year. After when you told us
Yep.
last year, we said, "What? How were you so right about this, Storm?" And you said, "I followed the tea leaves. I just followed the facts." And we're running into it again this year. At some point in time, they just got to walk into the cave with the bear. They're going to
Well,
walk into the cave with the bear, and it is what it is.
I'll say this, man. Forget about me. There's this guy named Sunny Cloud Gaming, y'all. I checked out
Shout
his
out to
video
Sonny.
and Sunny knew something, man. Sunny,
Yeah.
what do you know? What do you know, Sunny? What do you know, man? Like, share some of it with me.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Sonny had already said he made a video about it, y'all, before the news even broke, I think, if I'm not mistaken, y'all. I heard it as it played on autoplay this morning. So I got to go and check that out after this to make sure that I'm right, y'all. But check out Sunny Cloud Gaming and subscribe it today. I'm telling you, the brother's on fire. Like, Sonny said something along the lines, if I'm not mistaken, that could Google TV or Stadia become the Google TV and Android TV? I thought that's what I heard, y'all. And then all of a sudden, boom, it comes out. Yo, when you have when you have your finger on the pulse, MM2K, when you're really connected to this electric air, I told y'all, when you're in bed, when you put the electric air, when you accept it into your DNA, you know what I'm saying? You stop fighting it, right? Like, I don't want the electric air in my body and my soul and everything, man. Then you might just get in tune with some of this stuff. It might just become more apparent, more visible, you know? And now, of course, I'm joking, right? But at the same time, I'm being serious. Because, man, MM2K, I am trying to consume everything Stadia, everything AMD, everything Intel, everything that has to do with Google Stadia and cloud gaming, the competitors and everything. I'm tuned to the streets, man. I need to know it all. It's like a bad habit right now, y'all. If I don't make any content, that's why. But I'll get back to it. I promise.
Well, and again, I want to pull something from my good brother Clive Linden, my spiritual advisor, because I know a lot of people hear us and they think we're too positive on Stadia.
Too positive.
We don't focus on the negative, which that isn't true. We're way more positive than negative because we look at Stadia through what I feel is the proper lens, an emerging platform that's a cloud platform service, or a cloud platform period, in a 2% market. So I give the analogy all the time. Shout out to Alex Billy. They appear to like my analogies. I give the analogy all the time of, I got a ninth grader and I got a senior. You know what I'm saying? And there's an aptitude test in the States that's called the SATs. When I was growing up, that's what you had to use in order to determine if you can get into college. I don't know if they still use SATs, but when you're a ninth grader and you come in and you score 900 on the SATs, you know what I'm saying? That's a great thing, because that means, because idealistically you want your score to be like 1200 or above, but now I got 4 years to build you from 900, which isn't that far away. You get 100 points just for putting your name on there. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's different from a senior that maybe gets 1,000 on the SATs. If you got 1,000 on the SATs, I ain't got much time to get you ready for college to get you a higher score. That's it. So I don't have the same expectations for Stadia or any cloud platform right now that I have for Xbox and PlayStation. They've been around for decades. They have went through the bumps and bruises. They're now a senior. So there are certain things that I'm expecting for them. When it comes to GFN or Stadia or Luna, they're the ninth grader. They're doing some things, but I know, because of the things that they're capable of right now, by the time they become a senior, they're going to exceed those expectations of those that are seniors now. So I don't get upset when people are positive about a cloud platform. As long as that cloud platform is on the right trajectory, and we've seen with statistics and data that in a 12-month period, Stadia's engagement has gone up 200%. It's going up 200%. And if you look at the Sensor Tower data that shows that they've now surpassed 3 million downloads, that doesn't include the engagement on PC, but that they have surpassed 3 million downloads. That within an 18-month period, a console is normally at, I want to say, anywhere between 14 million to 18 million in saturation. And Stadia is at 3 million, which is, I believe, 20% of that. So that's good. And GFN, they've had 10 million. So that's fantastic. Well, they had to. I don't know where they're at now. They could be higher than 10. That's
Yeah, well, we
fantastic.
could say, we could definitely say higher for both. You know what I mean? If we're
Exactly.
going by that baseline number, 3 million and 10 million.
So
I'm sure it's higher.
so those are great. Those are great numbers. Now, if you're looking at a console, if I'm looking at those numbers at a console level, those aren't great numbers. The average is 14 to 18. But again, this is only a 2% business. So I don't look at it through the eyes of what consoles are doing. And for those that are looking through it at the eyes of what consoles are doing, maybe you got to ask yourself, am I just a tech enthusiast that is expecting too much of these platforms right now? You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not for me right now. But I like throwing those analogies out there because when people ask why are we so positive, that's why. Our expectations are set, I think, at a fathomable level. Where maybe those that are questioning why we're positive, maybe you got to look at what your expectations are. You know what I'm saying? This is a 2% business. They're only going to be capable of so much. GFN may not have the best performance right now. It may be fuzzy and there may be ghosting and stuff like that, but that's okay. They're just coming out of the gate retail wise. It's all right. So I'm not going to slaughter them for not looking as good as an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation or even a PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm not going to slaughter them for that. I'm just going to look at it and say they got room to build. Same with Stadia. Okay.
Yep.
So,
none of them are perfect. I'm glad you said that because I was definitely about to say none of them are perfect.
none of them
Believe
are
it.
perfect.
Believe it.
Exactly.
But I tell you what, if somebody asks me which one is close to perfect, well, that would be Google Stadia. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ma'am. Sorry, sir. Yeah, it would be Stadia
I
all
gotta have
day.
that performance. I gotta have the performance, and it's got to be consistent. And my thing with and this is just my personal whoop to do with GFN. GFN is too dependent on too many other conduits. Meaning, when it comes to Stadia, Stadia needs to be dependent upon your network and the developer and the platform. GFN has to be dependent upon the network, the developer, the platform, and the conduit or the storefront or whatever that is connected to. Like we're starting to see games for GFN that are Steam games where there's compatibility issues. You see what I'm saying? So now you're throwing more bureaucracy, more red tape between the game and the end user. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I don't want that inconvenience. To me, cloud gaming is supposed to be about convenience. I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with the UI from your PC store and all other stuff. I want to be able to go boop, boop, boop and play with great fidelity.
I want to say something before we.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Go ahead,
I know
sir.
as
Yes,
we getting
sir.
closer to
Absolutely.
that 4 o'clock hour. So listen to this, man. Big time Battlefield 6, y'all, or Battlefield 2142. I'm sorry.
Yep.
People were saying Battlefield 6 at first. You know what I'm saying? It's 2142 now that we know it's been confirmed. 128 player multiplayer or whatever, right?
Yep.
MM2K, real fast.
Yes, sir.
I went to the GeForce Now, if people talking about the games that's not on Stadia, y'all, we have to talk everything cloud so we can put it into perspective. That's the only way we can do this, right? It's not about bashing. So people have to keep this in mind. Well, you should. You don't have to do a damn thing, I'm saying. But keep it in mind when you're talking about Stadia because you got to talk about all of them to make it make sense to people, right? So I'm like looking for Battlefield and I'm saying GeForce Now, damn. No Battlefield games on GeForce Now right now. And like, I don't know if that's going to remain the case. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I know that right now, unless there's something that I'm missing, like I could boot up GeForce Now, I could load it up and type in Battlefield, and I don't find it. I don't find those games on there.
You know
So
why?
I'm just saying now, I could be wrong. I could. There's a chance that I could be wrong. There's a chance that I could be missing something, but when I go on GeForce Now, some of the big time games like Call of Duty and all that is just not there yet. They're on Steam, some of them on Epic Game Store or whatever the case is, but that's what MM's saying. Like that's kind of what you're alluding to, man. It's like you still have to understand that they're not there's room for them to grow and improve. Like you can't ultimately say, well, you could if you want to just share your opinion that GeForce Now is better than everything else. That's cool, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying, y'all. When it comes to that definitive statement type talk, you have to back it up with some facts sometimes, man. And you have to just like understand the pros and cons. And we try to do that. I know it might not seem like that, but we try our best to do like we flat out have done certain games. We told the truth. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say we did them dirty because we told the truth. Performance wise, Outriders, Serious Sam, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and other games running at 30 FPS. That's us. We're out here calling that out. We would like to see that improved if possible, right?
Yeah.
But there's people that's really gonna call us the gatekeepers, and we're too positive. And these are facts, y'all. These are really facts. And some people are listening. It's facts because you've heard it before, even if it didn't come from our mouths. You've heard it, like MM2K and Project Storm, man, or whatever. These guys over there, man, they're trying to be too positive. Some people have to just understand. Some
Mm-hmm.
content creators have to understand that you just can't always be positive about Stadia all the time. This is
Mm-hmm.
stuff that is really sad, people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, why would we spend time being so negative on Stadia when all the
Yeah.
negativity you want is out there, is in the ethos, as my brother would
Exactly.
say. All you gotta do is just type in Stadia negativity, and you'll get everything you want. You can sit back with a big
Mm-hmm.
bowl of ice cream
Yeah.
and sit back and just enjoy it. That's all. But
You
man, so
don't.
we spend more time, calling out some of the facts, but we
Yeah.
also highlight those positives that other people refuse to.
Exactly. Yeah. I. I don't. Um. I don't subscribe to that because you can be. I don't know if the notion is being positive doesn't mean that you don't give support to new ideas. That's not the case. You guys do that all the time. The chat is here. We talk about it. Well, I want Stadia to do this. Or I would like Stadia. I would like for Stadia to do this and do that and all this other stuff, right? And so you can be positive about the platform. You can be overwhelmingly positive about the platform, and say we're going to focus on that, and still give suggestions and ideas, and still point out things when there's issues. Like we talked about it last week when we were talking about the games that we played, and we talked about how some of the performance wasn't great on all of the pro games. We've
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about Outriders, which to me is still
Talk about
embarrassing.
SG&E, how that might
SG&E,
impact,
yeah,
things
we've
and all
talked
that.
about a lot of stuff, but here's the thing: it all depends on the prism that you're looking at, and I want to see the platform continue on its trajectory. So I can be critical, or I can not necessarily critical. I can give suggestions. You ain't got to be negative to give suggestions. So you could just put a suggestion in a suggestion box. You ain't got to be why. Why do we have to be negative to give a suggestion?
Right.
And when we address issues, we address them at the level of our enthusiasm. RDX is overwhelmingly positive about Xbox. They don't get any slack. We hear people within our own community that are overwhelmingly positive about Xbox. They don't talk about the fact that the gap is widening, that they didn't launch with any pure exclusives, which everybody's talking about on Main Street. That's
Right.
okay. It's just that when we make these criticisms of what is happening with Stadia content, we gotta look at, are we making the same criticisms at other content? And we're not. You know what I'm saying? Like we had those conversations before Storm when we were talking about toxicity.
Right.
And, because people were doing certain things at a certain level in the Stadia community, or one person may have said something positive about Stadia that people didn't agree with, the Stadia community was toxic. Meanwhile, we got people in the Xbox and PlayStation community pulling out pistols live on air, pulling out pistols and talking about if you mess with me and don't like my gaming opinion, you're gonna have a problem. You know what I'm saying? And I showed you the DMs of major uh, uh, gaming content creators where they show you their
Yeah.
DMs of where they're
Yeah.
threatened on a regular basis. So again, when you level these complaints against how we handle things with Stadia, make sure you're leveling them evenly against other platforms. else they're going to fall on deaf ears. I think that's the best way to describe it. When the playing field isn't level, they're going to fall on deaf ears, and the community isn't stupid. They're going to recognize it for what it is, and they're going to go about their business. Period. So, shout out to Clive with the $5. He says, "Keep up spreading the good word, bros." Yeah, that's all we can do.
We have to. I mean, same to you, and everybody else out here that's doing it. And somebody else in the chat said something to keep us grounded, man. Junior Thanos right here. Continual improvement. That's my slogan for Stadia.
Exactly.
Also, drop the facts and be impartial. And that's what it's really about, man. But yeah, some people. That's why. Can I say this real quick, y'all? Stadia 100, man. I still use it every time I drop a Stadia video, and I kind of like think that it was based on the idea of the specific content part, right? The specific content didn't mean my content over yours. Yep. It meant content that for you who are looking for what Stadia is, what it's all about. How do you get into the community? What is the community like? You know what I mean? What games are coming to the platform? How do I get a better connection? You know what I'm saying? Like, what games are there for me if I like this genre? That's what Stadia 100 was all about, which is why I continue to use it heavily. You know what I mean? So that right there, you all remember that hashtag. That right there is something for any new gamers that's coming in, listening to this podcast for the first time, listening to Clive and anybody else's podcast. You're new to the community, or you've been around for a while and you're finally branching out. Instead of listening to me and MM2K all the time, you're going over and you're spreading the love, or whatever the case is. Like, these are things I think that are important, MM2K, and that's why, I'm proud to be a part of that movement, for sure. Calling it a movement. I have to be careful with the terminology around here, man.
My grandmother told me something that was wise a long time ago, which, I because I'm older, I wish a lot of people may fall short of having that older guidance from way back when. She told me it's better to get bees with honey. You know what I'm saying? So, meaning that, okay, I got things that I want from Stadia. Like, remember, we used to have a segment on here before we started co-hosting this together where I said, what are the improvements that you guys want to see from Stadia? And then when I do the open mics, we talk about it all the time. I just haven't done one for a while. But I think a lot of people are confused and they don't get it. And I'm going to tell you from the Xbox side, as we're seeing more and more content created from Xbox, just hear me out. Just check out the lineage. Check out what we've done with Broadband Bullies. Understand that the thought process and the mind behind the Broadband Bullies created all of this Xbox YouTube stuff. And I'm here to tell you from experience. I got to do what my brother Clive Linden did, who just gave us the $5. Again, shout out to you, brother. I got to tell you my experience. From the content creation side, I've been doing this for 3 years. I rub elbows with some of the biggest content creators out here, PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo. Okay, I get to be privy of a lot of these conversations, these discussions. I told you that per my relationship in this ordeal that I knew Outriders was coming to Xbox, coming to Game Pass. I just couldn't say anything, and I found out on a humbug through somebody that was connected. That's why I dropped that video. Stadians don't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I did that because I was like, oh, stop. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I dropped that video. So I'm not new to this, and I'm telling you guys that a lot of you may be disconnected to how things work at Xbox, and a lot of those things that happen in Xbox happen with Stadia. You can't sit there and tell Xbox, F you, you should have done this. What the F is wrong with you? You're crazy. And you should have this Xbox, you're stupid. The moment you do that, they cut you off. Like, they used to entertain us at Broadband Bullies because we were still central within the Xbox community at that point in time. That while we were making fun of Sea of Thieves, and Z was talking about who wants to go around chasing chickens and pigs. I want hardcore AAA games. While we were on air, Phil Spencer himself live was tweeting at Next Gen 720. He was tweeting him live on air because he wanted Z to go on air while we were live and regurgitate what he was saying to him. Because again, he knew that what Z was saying was hurting the perception of Sea of Thieves. He wanted them to go on and say that. So when I tell you that I'm connected to that psyche, I'm not capping. So if you cannot do, if that's not going to fly with Xbox, it's not going to fly with Google. These Fortune 500 companies are cognizant to that. You can't sit here and say, well, Stadia is so stupid for doing it. They automatically block you out. They say fanboy and they block you out. It's the same with Xbox. It's the same with PlayStation. Definitely with PlayStation. PlayStation plays hardball. And it's the same with Stadia. So if there's something that you would like Stadia to do, make sure first and foremost, because they like to see the content creators pivot from facts, make sure first and foremost that it's something that's factually obtainable. You know, like I hear a lot of times, Google got all this money. So did Xbox. And so did Microsoft. Microsoft didn't start making these major investments in these studios until Xbox started making money. So guess what? Stadia got to start making money in order for them to make these vast decisions. Or maybe they don't, because Alphabet doubled down on it. And we already know on good authority that happened. But again, it's better to get bees with honey. If you want to see improvements, do it with the proper tone. Do it through the proper channels. You can't sit there and curse out Stadia and be sweet and lily with Xbox and then be like, yeah, you know, I'm going to get through Stadia. If you were to do it to Xbox, they would ignore you just as well. Trust me, I know from experience. So it's not about us being positive and ignoring the negative. When Stadia got to be called out on stuff, we call it out. My brother Storm is the first one at the door when they got to be called out. But again, we do it in decency and order. And I don't think that a lot of you don't realize that because you're communicating strictly off of emotion, you're not doing it in decency and order. And you wonder why you might not get the effect that you want, or you don't get the communication back that you want. Can't be nice to GFN and Luna and then Stadia, what the F are you doing? Say even if you are frustrated, it's better to get bees with honey, because any of these platforms would react the same way. Okay?
Perfect. Man, so I know we're gonna wrap up soon, y'all, but I gotta say this right now because Nick's We Go Hard is in the house. That's Wolfgang,
Nick's We Go Hard.
On, gamer tag and all that. Check it out. Hey, he's still sixth on Madden on Stadia, right? Now, yep. Wolfgang, Nick's We Go Hard. You know this a fact, right? I just played the number one player in the world, MM2K, in chat yesterday.
Wow.
Lost the game because I threw an interception in the first half. If you make a mistake against good players, you're probably going to lose unless you can force them into a mistake. I could not force them into a mistake. The number one player on Stadia. So that after the game, it was all respect the whole time. You could tell he respected me. I respected him. He didn't, he could have run the clock off at the end. I mean, he could have tried to score on me, but he decided to just run the clock down or whatever. But I looked at the top 100 and I see Wolfgang out there, number 6, still number 6. But I see all these new players in MM2K in chat that's entered the leaderboard. And we keep talking about Madden, just one game, right? Madden getting these new players. And now with these new devices that we just highlighted today, y'all, people are going to have access to Stadia. And now they're going to look at the library and see Madden out there, for example, for all those Madden players. Man, we're talking about even more players. Keep your eyes open. We'll let y'all know how it goes.
Yep. But Nick's asked, what do we think about Battlefield? Well, I tell you what, if you're a member, I don't know how much time you got, Storm. You got like 10 minutes for the after show?
I got 10 minutes, man.
All right, so we're going to talk about it in the after show. That's what we had planned. We're going to talk about this Battlefield 2042. We know there's some disappointment that it wasn't announced right now. But again, this was just a reveal trailer. They told you the platforms that it's coming to at this moment. That could all change. We've seen that before. We've seen that happen before. But we're going to talk about it in the after show. So if you are a Stadia Dosage News member, not only are you now eligible for the prizes we're going to give on the 23rd, which is the Google TV. Two lucky members are going to get Google TVs and controllers of their choice. But if you're a Stadia Dosage prescription or above or higher member, you're going to be able to witness this after show live. So definitely keep that in mind. And if you're not one and you want to partake, hit that join button below. Hit it below and then become a member and become a prescription member if you want to partake in the after show. With that said, Storm, where can the good people find you at?
Man, Zajic is in the house.
Zajic?
Zajic is in the house, man.
Zajic!
Hey, let me tell y'all something. This is facts. Now, hold on. I'm going to say this. You know, if I say it, I mean it. Man, I was thinking about Zajic today. We're always talking about Zajic. Wasn't I just saying? Now, how about this? Hold up, y'all. In the DM the other day.
Yes.
And when we broke down that Rich Ledbetter article and all that from Digital Foundry, me and MM2K last week.
No lie.
Check this out. I said, yo, MM2K, the hell with you. I need somebody like Zajic that's going to take this serious to get on here and talk to the people with me, man. And here's Zajic in the building, man. I'm glad to see you, man. Hopefully everything is going good. But we're going to go ahead and kick off this after show, man. It was damn sure good seeing all of you today. So thank you to everybody that joined. MM, what else did you want to say, man? Because, I take over the show like I'm on my channel or something.
Hey, look, man. I'm going to tell you this. It was a hell of a show. I think we clarified a lot of things, as far as our approach to a lot of the community stuff. It's good that when something is said either on a show or wherever, it sparks up conversation. That's good. If we can continue to do that without the personal digs and all the other stuff, that'll be great. Because the personal stuff, especially the lies and stuff like that, again, I'm not going to go too far into that, but what it does is we got thick skin. If you don't think I got thick skin, go watch Best Damn Podcast, period. I got an issue with people like, Zajic and Cloud Gamer Dad and those that support this platform, even out of their pockets, to be made to look like they're doing something nefarious for supporting the platform. That's where I get irked. Right. But yeah, when conversations spur further conversation, that's great. And sometimes when you say, yeah, well, I heard this, that, and the other, like Eddie in the chat earlier said, yeah, that was my take that I was disagreeing with. That's fine, not a problem. That's good stuff. And we can continue. And at some point in time, Storm, the community got sensitive to when you disagreed with how they thought and you brought it up somewhere. We're not like that. It's just, we can do it. We can do it without trying to demean somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, demean them and make it seem like that they're out to destroy or whatever. You know what I mean? So with that being said, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate y'all. And if you are a part of the member community, you'll automatically go to the member show. We'll see you there. Until next time, peace.
Have a good one.
Oh, whoops. What did I do? Oh, okay. Yep.